Wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a Pinskane fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Good afternoon, wherever you be coming. Welcome to you. Glad to see everybody back today for the 975th show of the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. A couple of things I do want to say before we do get started today. I don't want anybody to get confused. I celebrated when Myles Garrett got moved yesterday. But it's not because I fear Myles Garrett. I mean, the guy, again, with a little help from some friends, Dylan Cook didn't let up a single sack against Myles Garrett last year when we faced him in a game where Myles Garrett was trying to get that record sack. And at the end of the day, you know why I celebrated the most? Because Cleveland fans, that's why.
Yes.
Because they're so fucking annoying. And every little fucking thing that they do that's an accomplishment, they already have to start comparing it to the Steelers. It's so fucking pathetic in a way, because everything they do, it always comes back to being comparable to the Steelers, which is the stupidest thing that they could do. If they were smart, they would literally do this with the Bengals and kind of build some leverage for themselves, get the fuck up off the ground from where they've been for the past 40 years, and maybe start kind of working their way to something better. However, they get a guy that has a little bit of fucking success, and all of a sudden you want to start bad-mouthing the Steelers. So again, at the end of the day, it wasn't because I fear Myles Garrett, because I don't. As a matter of fact, you know, yes, he's made plays against us, but guess what? He's a football player. He's really good, and that's by law of average, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I can't. I listen. If Myles Garrett was here, I'd be fine. It isn't like everyone's making it seem like the Steeler fans are in such a world of relief because Myles Garrett got traded, but we're not. Nobody really cares. At the end of the day, again, nobody cares. This is a team we play twice on the calendar every year, and you know what? They haven't beat us at home since 2003 or some shit like this. And then at the end of the day, just recently they started getting some success at home on Thursday nights, just because the NFL keeps continuing to schedule this way because they think that they found the formula to make this a good series. But at the end of the day, nobody still gives two shits, and nobody should give two shits to the Browns, because at the end of the day, that's like the Cardinals sitting around worrying about what the Pirates are going to do, or because if a Pirate gets a guy that has a lot of home runs. You see what I'm saying? What a joke. What a joke.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, they're worked up about this, man. And that's the thing. It's not so much they're worried about their situation. They're worried about what Pittsburgh's thinking. Again, Who cares? What the fuck do you even care? You're nothing. You're big nothing burgers. You always have been. You always will be. And again, until I'm proved otherwise, I can't go on and think to myself that this is some great improved team. Throw in Jared Verse, throw in some nice draft picks. As Mike, you and I were saying yesterday on a group chat, this team has been building its team with high draft picks for a quarter century, and yet they still haven't won the division since the late '80s. So at the end of the day, I think that this certainly is bigger to us for other reasons, but not for the topical reasons that people are making it out to be.
Yeah, like we're happy he's gone, because it makes Cleveland suffer and sad, and it makes
it's a city
organization. It makes
not so much as a team, as a city. That's what's good.
It makes them look bad. It makes them look terrible. It was the whole thing. Oh, we want him here for his entire career. Oh, we're gonna build him a team, and then you trade him away when supposedly you're building a team. It's just funny, and they've been building for years. Like, this is reminiscent of 2017 and 2018 all over again. That's when they drafted Myles Garrett and a bunch of guys in the first round. Then next year they get Baker Mayfield and a couple other good players in the first round. They had a deep squad, and it all built to one playoff win where the Steelers laid an egg.
Which, in our defense, Mike, we laid an egg many of times in this past 10 years.
It's not just because of you.
Right. It's not that the Browns did something great. It was the fact of the matter that we stunk for a decade. And that was the best that they could do against a team that stunk for a decade.
Yeah, like literally, that was their Super Bowl. So it's just comical and funny that every team in the AFC North is happy Myles Garrett's gone. Like, no, we are, because it's funny, but like every team has won the division more recently than the Browns.
Every team in the league has won their division more recently than the Browns. I would bet on it. I don't know that to be a fact, but I do know that they haven't won it since '88, and I'm pretty sure even when the Cardinals, I don't remember what the hell they did at the Super Bowl year, but at some point it seems like everybody might have won their divisions. Almost. Again, Mike, it's up there with Dallas not being able to return back to the NFC Championship game since January of 1996, 30 years ago, over 30 years now. So, again, it's just funny because it's those teams, Mike, that we traditionally hate here in Pittsburgh. The Cowboys with that situation, the Browns with their situation. If the Patriots and the Ravens could fall off or, something ridiculous happen to them, it would just fall in suit with everything else, Mike, as Steeler fans. The football gods, I don't know if the thing about people in Cleveland, they don't believe in the football gods. And I'm convinced of it, because at the end of the day, I don't know how you could,
Yeah, as much shit as they get, you would think they would have to believe in some sort of football god, that they were being punished for something.
Or Buddha or something.
It's something. Maybe they're hoping Joe Boo was going to help them. He helped Pedro Serrano hit a curveball.
Yeah. Welcome to the board, everybody. Glad to see you today. I want to say what's up to everybody before we get rolling. I'm going to say what's up to my man Squeege. Always great seeing Squeege TV on the board. He says, fellas, what up, bro? Always great seeing you. Welcome to the show, man. I want to say what's up to Cody. Cody's saying something in Spanish. Far as I know, that could be Cody admitting that he's coming out of the closet. I don't know, but welcome to you, Cody. And if that's the case, not that there's anything wrong with that.
You picked the right month too, brother. We're here to support you.
You did pick the right month.
We're here to support you.
I'm going to say what's up to Tortilla from all the way in Sacramento, California. He says, El Aliquippa. What up to you? Nice seeing you, bro. Squeege says, Myles Garrett gone. He gone. Cody says, who's Myles Garrett? Squeech says, exactly. And that's how I'm feeling today. After having a day to think about it and let it bounce around in my head, this is where I'm at. It's not going to affect me one way or the other. As a matter of fact, as we're in Brown week and we're preparing for the Browns, I won't feel any different. I just won't. As a matter of fact, I'll feel better because of not that reason, but for everything else that the Browns do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And getting rid of their defensive coordinator. Again, you get a quarterback to get you to the playoffs, that beats the Steelers. You get rid of him. You get a defensive coordinator to get you in the top 3 defenses. You get rid of them. I'm not worried about these Browns. I'm not. Like, they were trying to get who was it? Matt Castle.
Yeah,
and they couldn't get paperwork across the desk.
I think it was Castle. Yeah,
a certain time, and they lose. They're losers. They're just losers.
I feel bad. Not for their fans, but for the players that are drafted to the Browns. Because you have all this talent in the world, and now you're going to go to a team where talent goes to die for the most part. To where how Baker Mayfield and Myles Garrett have been able, and even Joe Thomas, have been able to excel in the past 20-some-odd years of this franchise since they've came back is a testament to those 3 gentlemen's will to perform. Because you got to have a thick skin and a willingness to eat shit to strive and survive in Cleveland. So these young cats that they drafted that have all this potential, good luck to you. You're going to need it. And that organization will find a way to fuck you all over.
It's truly incredible, Mike, because at the end of the day, a lot of teams that maybe don't have the local, the fan support, they might not be able to get the level of play up.
Yeah,
that's not the case. They love their football team up there. You have the dumbest fans, obviously, in the nation, and they follow you to a T. And again, at the end of the day, that's not even enough to motivate. So, again, Cleveland, I'm not worried about you. At the end of the day, one way or the other, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. I think that it's most funny, again, because, of course, Cleveland fans.
Yeah.
Again, they now they have nothing to go on. Like, again, they get one little thing, one little bit of success, and it's like, oh, what about the Steelers? You don't have a defensive player of the year this year, and on with the stupidness. So, again, at the end of the day, my love of this move is for, in fact, my hate of the Cleveland people. This is where I celebrate.
Yep.
In this situation.
It's comical, man. Like, they are either crashing out online or they're rubbing it in like the Steelers' face that, see, we still have the best edge rusher in the AFC North. Like, well, that's not false, or that is false. That's not true, because Nick Herbig and Jared Verse literally have the same exact stat line, and one's a backup and one was a starter.
Yeah. So there you go. So there you go. Mike, also today is a day of celebration because like no other, my board ain't working. That's why.
I did.
Like no other Tuesday, Mike, my board isn't working, so I can't celebrate.
I'm sorry.
This is getting fucking old. All right, with that being said, I'm just going to say a bunch of things that might offend somebody. Kill, murder, death, kill, fat, retard. Okay, I got it out of my system.
Like, that's just normally how you greet me.
That is the...
So,
Yeah.
That's just how you show me love.
You're not allowed to say kill anymore. You have to say unalive, which is fucking ridiculous.
No, that's only on a certain platform they do that. On YouTube, where we're adults, we say kill.
I seen somebody say that they can't say kill. As a matter of fact, I was watching YouTube reactions last night, and the things that I see that you can't say, and the things that younger people were just blown away by things that people said in the 90s, just blow my mind. Just blow my mind. You can't call people fat anymore or retarded. Where the fuck am I? Here's the thing. Listen, your feelings don't start where my fucking rights end or something like this. If I want to say fucking retarded, I'm going to say fucking retarded. I'm just saying. And if it offends you, fuck off. Here's the thing. You could say I'm ugly because I have a gray beard. Guess what? I have to go on with my life. I can't say I am so offended. You can't say that. Like a fucking adult, I'm going to move on and go on with my life. And say that, you know what? Fuck you.
You're doing all right.
I don't know. I know because my board ain't working. That's why we're all right.
I'm worried about you over there, Hoss. I'm worried about you.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Welcome. Glad to see everybody today. Let's go right here to my man Tortilla Jackson. Tortilla says this: I'm scared of Myles Garrett, bro. Was that the fastest donkey in Ohio? Let's go here to Corey. Corey says, yo, how's it going, guys? Always great seeing my man Corey Beavers from over Don't Drink That. Do go check Corey out. If you are into conspiracy theories, UFOs, missing scientists, anything of this nature, go check out Corey. Lots of content over there. I love going over there, Mike. I've been dialing into his stuff lately, a lot recently, as a matter of fact, because I think it's very interesting. I think you will too. Go check out Corey at Don't Drink That right here on the tube.
On tube.
Corey says, I forgot Garrett was a Brown until he got traded. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says, rumor has it that Miles sat Kenny Pickett on his way to LA. It's possible. Let's go right here to Ty, my man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT. Tyrone in the house, my friend. Always great seeing you, sir. Welcome to the terrible board as always. Welcome to the show as always. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says, this tater scares the hose. That's why Myles Garrett had to run away. You know what? The Tater had the best line yesterday. The very last comment of the day. Right. He says, go 49ers.
That's the best.
Let's go here. Tyrone. No, where am I? Here we go. Tyrone says this: JPJ definitely holding in, not playing. He wants the bag. You know what? Good for him. I agree. He's going to get it. We're going to talk about that and some other things today, guys. Of course, the big moves yesterday are certainly igniting other questions, certainly things that may pertain to our Steelers and people of similar status. So we're going to get to that as well. Do stick around. Lots of things to get into today. Let's go, Ty. Ty says this. He follows it up with saying, I just heard Big will be there. Interesting. So, again, we're watching all these guys. Some hold-in rumors. We don't know entirely, but we do know, Mike, the mandatory minicamp starts today, tomorrow, Thursday. They'll be off Friday through the weekend and then pick back up on Monday for OTAs, 4 days of the 5 next week to wrap up OTAs. This is where we be. Let's get right back here to Tortilla. My man Tortilla says this: Cleveland seems like a city full of gas station weed. That is exactly what I think of. When I think of Pittsburgh, I think of potholes and traffic cones. When I think of Cleveland, Mike, I think of gas stations in their synthetic weed.
Yeah, that's right on track too. You know, that is Cleveland to a T.
Yeah.
To a T.
Unalive Bill. I like it, Tortilla. Unalive Bill. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yinzer Joe, the original OG, the Yinzer Joe says, what's up? Yinzer's great seeing you, bro. Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the terrible board. Mandatory minicamp today, Joe. Mandatory minicamp June 2nd. We're on our way, bro. We're on our way. Tortilla, he says, Ryan on that Thunderbird today. If I could, you know, and the thing is, like with your screen, like your camera, when I work on this in the evening, my board works just fine. Mm-hmm. And I say to myself, I know it's fine. And the second I go to use it tomorrow during the show, it's going to fuck up. And you guess what?
Yeah. I'm sitting here pre-show. My camera's moving. Find the minute Ryan gets in here. And I'm ready to freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says this: Jared versus good, but not Garrett good. He's equal to Herbig in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, that's good enough. I mean, come on. I don't want to face Herbig week, in any week, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, you're right. He's not the defensive player of the year. He's not the multiple-time defensive player of the year, and he's not the sack leader. So at the end of the day, you know, people that's going, well, Jared versus, well, guess what? They're all fucking good in the NFL. Anybody that you're facing is good. Nobody's not good. Yes, Jared verse. I understand. I hear all the hype just like everybody else does. But again, anybody that goes to Cleveland generally doesn't have the success. But we'll see. Mike, and again, at the end of the day, it isn't like Myles Garrett was beating us week in, week out. And in the game that we lost up there, it certainly wasn't due to him anyway. So at the end of the day, I'm not jumping up and down for that reason. I don't care that he's gone. I just think that's hilarious.
It is too. It's funny. That's where the most of my enjoyment is coming from.
Absolutely. Cody says, I'm pretty sure I offend people every day. Good for you. Listen, I'm proud of you. I want to you know what I'm going to do? I'm giving you the game ball right now, Cody, because you like to offend people. And not probably because you like to offend people, but just because you like to fucking talk like a normal person. and people can't fucking handle it. So I'm going to give you the game ball today, bright and early. Cody, that's a game ball for you because of my mood. That's why.
We got to get you some weed before the show next time, brother.
Pipe down over there.
You got me on edge over here. I'm ready to start fucking up.
No. Just Learning says this, Mike. He says Rodgers has a fake wife. What's up, Just Learning? Always great seeing you on a terrible board.
Until I see real life proof, I agree with Just Learning.
I agree. I at the end of the day, I can't. Can I say that he's wrong? Can I say that he's wrong? I cannot. Tortilla says you guys have reap wives. Reap wives?
Real wives.
Real wives. You guys have real wives. I don't even know what that means. I don't want real wives, but I'm not quite sure what the question is referring to. As a matter of fact, if I was interested, it would only be one wife. I don't know what these fucking are, or what are these Amish? Not Amish, but the who is it like that has all the wives? What are they, insane?
Oh, yeah, the Mormons.
The Mormons. What are they, nuts?
Gotta be nuts.
No offense, but I'm just saying.
This is too many.
Tyrone says this Seahawks edge Derek Hall extended 3 years, $42 million.
Yeah, Herbig's looking at that because he's like, "Ooh, I got better stats than this guy," and he's getting 14 a year.
You know, we're going to talk about this today because, again, this is going to bring up some really good questions, Mike. And again, I'm kind of glad this happened for this reason because we're in a similar situation.
Yeah.
When we were saying why doesn't Cleveland have money for this, that, and the other? Well, they have a couple guys that are really soaking it up, plus about 15 former players that are still soaking up their payroll. But at the end of the day, Mike, this does hit home for us here in Pittsburgh. So we're going to touch on that here real soon because, again, very similar situation, I think some might say, right here in the Berg. Let's continue on. Let's say what's up to Christine. Always great seeing Christine on the terrible board. She says, hey, Ryan and Mike. Great to see you, Christine. Always great to see you. Good morning. Good afternoon. All that fun stuff. Welcome. Welcome to you. Let's go right here to Christine. She says, follows it up with that BS that Cody gets the game. I know. But again, like I said, it's really based off my mood. It's not based off of anything with any foundation. It's just my Tuesday mood. I wanted to celebrate with Mike. I wanted to celebrate with Titty Tuesday, and I can't because my board is only effed up at this hour of the day, and it's incredible that it's only effed up this hour of the day. I'm gonna mess with it, and it's gonna be a Titty Tuesday. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care.
We gonna get some titties on Titty Tuesday.
I am sure trying my best. Damn it. Let's continue on the board right here. Tyrone says, hey, Christine. Let's follow that up. Hey, Tyrone says, see, we need to pay our people before others raise the market. It's kind of
got to get them in early.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let me see if I might have fixed it.
Madam, I request that you immediately send me pictures detailing your beautiful bosom in support of the national holiday known as Titty Tuesday.
There it is. Now I'm okay. Now let's get started.
There's the smile.
Yeah.
There's the smile.
That's right.
There we go.
I'm
now
all man.
We can start the show. 23 minutes and 55 seconds in. We can start the show.
I'm all
Ryan's
man, baby.
He's back.
I'm back. Let's continue on. Let's go right here to
until it fucks up.
Yeah, and it will fuck up. I promise you. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. Sorry about that. JBJ and Herbig being traded after their holding a camp bet. Again, a lot of things we're going to get into today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe something similar. Let's do move ahead, though. Christine, Cody says this. Christine, it's because I'm always right, even though I may be wrong. Christine says, I don't think polygamy is legal anymore. But they have the sister wives. You ever see these shows? I mean, I don't know. Don't go by me.
I don't know how it works. But Cody, you're always wrong. Even when you're right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And even when you're wrong, wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tyrone says this. He says, Yinzer Joe, not a chance. JBJ holding in. Herbig is there. Tyrone follows it up by saying, facts, Mike. Herbig 15 to 20 range confirmed, which rightfully so. Rightfully so. I think that he's at that point in his contract. He certainly proved himself.
Yeah.
To be able to make that kind of money. So again, at the end of the day, it's not top money, but it's a lot of money to give a guy that's performing. So
I can see like a 2 to 3 year contract with him in that range. It would make sense.
Let's go to Arch Claus. Arch Claus, Mike. I want to say welcome to the show. Arch Claus says you look like Jack Black, Mr. Mike.
I appreciate the compliment.
Jack Black.
Now, if I only had Jack Black money.
Well, doesn't Jack Black his hair? That's the one thing that I can't get past. I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying, Mike. I'm trying for F's sake. Doesn't Jack Black have hair?
You can move on.
Do you have hair?
Yes.
You're making me
zoom in. You'll see a follicle.
You're making me seem like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I thought Jack Black had hair and appeared to be different. Anyway, thank you for the message. I think Arch Claus. I don't know if I see Jack Black, but anyway,
I appreciate it.
I'm sure you do because Jack Black has hair. But anyway, let's move on. Again, I just whatever.
Well, fuck off.
Christine says Titty Tuesday. Everybody loves Titty Tuesday. It's a hit. It's a hit. It's a tit. Titty Tuesday. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says this. You can say terrible Tuesday. Okay, I'll go wait in the car.
It was a terrible Tuesday until a few minutes ago.
It was a terrible Tuesday.
I was afraid Ryan was going to murder me.
Until Arch Claus comes in and called Mike Favio.
See, now we're just getting better and better.
Yeah,
brother.
there you go. We're just adding more hair as we go.
Yeah.
Let's go here to Cody. Cody says, what? And then we're going to go to Corey. Corey, don't drink that. So something is going on with my playback here. I'm only getting about 2 seconds at a time before it cuts out for a 5 to 8 second. I'll have to try you guys later or tomorrow. Sorry, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Hope you get that figured out.
Gotta hit refresh probably.
Vanilla Black. There you go, Tyrone. Damn, hope it gets fixed. Don't Corey, don't drink that. So we hope that it does get fixed for you. Yeah, he's gonna be Teen Wolf next. He's getting younger and hairier as the show goes on.
Hell yeah.
Mike is loving this episode. Mark this one down on the calendar. 975. Mike just gained a full head of hair, and he did too in about 25 years. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. It is episode 975. Welcome back to the show, Mike. Just 25 more episodes to the big 1,000, right around the corner. It's going to meet up just in time for the 5-year anniversary of the show, which is crazy because we technically got everything squeezed in 4 years, Mike. Because year one we technically had 11 episodes, so everything basically came from year 2 to 5. Trying to squeeze in this 1,000 episodes, Mike, and as I said, it's going to work out perfectly. We're very excited about that here on the show. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into it, Mike. The Pittsburgh Pirates will be back in action today as they start the 3-game series against the Houston Astros down in Houston. The Pirates are getting ready for game 1 of 3 of the series. They're 32-28. If they could do some winning, Mike, they could certainly be in a good position. Bullpen is going to be a big story for them as we move along. Starting pitching is elite in the hitting. Mike, they've scored more runs than 26 other teams in the majors, so they get the bullpen together. Pirates should be looking good, but that's a big if.
And that is a big if. My God, this team, we finally have an offense. We've had pitching for years. Now all of a sudden we don't.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And it's so weird about baseball. You have to have all 3. If you don't have all 3, you're not going to be
screwed. You're
not going to be in contention. You need to be able to hit. You need to be able to have starting pitching, and you need a bullpen. That's the secret. I mean, if you're one of these teams trying to get by skimping with 1, 2, or 3, you're never going to be good. That's the formula for baseball. You have to have all 3, and you got to be really good at all 3. And maybe that's why teams like the Yankees that spend gazillions of dollars, they get great players at all those positions, and that's why they're always good. So I'm huge fan, Mike, of the salary cap in baseball for sure. In my opinion, I can't even believe we're this far along and they don't even have it. It's fucking don't you find it odd that 28 of the fucking 30 teams in your league doesn't ever have a chance? That doesn't weird you out as a league?
It should, but hey, as long as people are watching and showing up, they're happy with it. But revenue starts to go down, fans don't start coming in because their teams don't have a chance. You got to do something.
I agree. I mean, football has the perfect formula for parity,
Yeah.
Mike. Every fan, I mean, like, listen, some cities generally have slower fan bases than others, like Arizona. They don't pour into the stadiums like people in Pittsburgh do, but it's not because of the lack of money and not being able to put the team together. It's just they don't love their football like people in Western Pennsylvania or the people in Texas or the people in, places that do. I think that maybe baseball should get in on something along the line of what the NFL is doing, Mike, because again, baseball, if you're not a Braves, a Yankees, one of these, 3-4 other teams, your team's never going to get in. And how the fuck could that be exciting for a lot? And that's the same with college football, in my opinion, Mike. You have 3 teams that are, in the running every year, the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Georgia. You know what? It's something that got to be done. And my answer to it is adding more teams to the playoffs, which I think they're going to do. And I think that the playoffs is a great thing for college football, Mike, because, again, a lot of fans that were alienated by college football, they are now saying, hey, I have a chance to possibly get into the playoffs. You get in the playoffs, you can maybe make something happen. And you know what? That's a lot more than what we had before for a lot of these teams that never sniffed a national championship. So good on them, Mike. They're at least making the attempt. I don't know what baseball's doing. There's talks, but there's always talks in baseball. So again, let's hope that those things get fixed. So again, it's for the betterment of the sport.
This next lockout is going to go. I have a feeling it's going to drag on for a long time because a lot of the players, they don't want a salary cap. The agents don't want it, but it's the high end guys.
No, absolutely. Why would you?
Because they want all the money.
Yeah,
and it's like the lower tier guys go along with it, but like you're the ones who are getting affected by it. I understand, being the good union brother and want to get everything you can, but dude, man, you guys aren't really getting the benefit from it. It's the higher end guys. If there's a salary cap, that money is going to get spread out even more to you, and you might have a chance to go to another team and be successful and make money there too. It's only going to help everyone in the long run. Like every pro sport in America has it except Major League Baseball.
I'm just wondering who this anxious clause is. I bet you this is Mike's. This is probably Mike's cousin or something.
My cousins would be flaming me, bro.
I'm just saying.
My brother came in here and gave you guys ammunition to go fuck with Mike.
Because I'm just staring at you, and I got to say, Mike. And again, I'm not saying that you're
staring at me.
Listen, well, again, I because I never look at you, so I'm just making the point. I'm staring at you, and listen. I'm not gay. I'm not, but I'm just saying, you're not an ugly person. However, I wouldn't say Jack Black, but again, maybe he's loaded. Maybe he's loaded.
That might be the next, or that might be the nice thing you ever said to me. I'm not gay, but you're not an ugly person.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna put that on my profile. You're not gay. You're not ugly.
No. Nah. If I was gay, you might be ugly, but
you never know.
You
never know.
I don't know. Let's talk football, guys. Black and gold Pittsburgh Steelers back at mandatory, starting mandatory today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Mike, they'll be off Friday and then back Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week for the OTAs to wrap up that program. But today, Mike, they're back at it. Lots of things to talk about yesterday after the big shakeup around the NFL. Let's talk about a couple former Steelers before we do move on. Yeah. Mike, your boy Russell Wilson going on to CBS. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's just time. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, they're Bill Belichick. For a lot of the people that give us shit, the people that saying, I think maybe we should have moved on. You know what? Even Bill Belichick became stale. When it's time, it's time. When it's time, it's time. And you know what? It's the same thing for Russell Wilson. Good for him. Go on with your life. Get into CBS broadcasting. Make money. Talk football. Do what it is that you love to do. And just live your life, dude.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be an effective quarterback in the NFL. Unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. At this point, we've seen you in the past couple seasons. And again, nothing to write home about. So good on him. Mike, Russell Wilson going to the booth. I like this. Again, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have even cared twice, but now that he's a former Steeler, good for him. That's just more black and gold that we're going to see in the booths and on football games anyway. So
yeah, he could have went on to been a backup somewhere, but he's, like you said, he probably recognized, it's just time to move on. And what better spot right now than to go into broadcasting? That's where everyone of like any quality, especially as a quarterback goes, they go into broadcasting. My biggest fear is that Russ is just going to try and be that bland guy, just that happy guy, not try to like talk negative on any of the plays that are happening out there and be like kind of wishy-washy. I want to get his real honest opinion because the guy knows football. And to play football at quarterback at that high level, you know what you're seeing out there. You know what you're talking about. I just want him to use his voice as an authority on football, not trying to be that wishy-washy color commentator. That's just my biggest fear.
Yeah, and Russell's a fair guy. I mean, that's the one thing that I got from him. Like when he was here, this dude is not a. You're wrong. You're right, Andy. I agree with you 100%. I'll get back to you in 1 second. But I agree, Mike. One thing that I learned about Russell Wilson when he's here is this guy is a pretty decent dude.
Oh, a great human being.
Because the thing was, when he was playing in Seattle, you didn't know. I mean, all the way over on the West Coast, whatever. We don't know what's going on over there. But when the guy came here, this guy did nothing but good in our community. The guy was going to hospitals during the week. I mean, practice days, guys want to get the ice on their knees and relax. And Russell Wilson was constantly at Children's Hospital, constantly doing this. So, again, at the end of the day, good for him. I like him a lot more. And I'm glad. Again, I'm more glad now than I would have been 3 years ago for Russell Wilson. Good for him. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Again, like the guy really impressed me as a person.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything. So, again, I'm a fan. Let's get to Andy. Always great seeing Andy back on the board. I recognize the name. Andy says this. He says, anybody says the Steelers suck, they are wrong. We always win playoffs. Andy, I agree with you 100%. We don't suck. As a matter of fact, I think we're better than we were last year, maybe the year before, even the year before, maybe even the year before. I don't know. But I do know that I think that we've done a lot of work this offseason to certainly improve our game. And again, the 10-7 with the no receivers and the 15 tight ends and a bunch of the problems that we had last year should be in the rear view, in my opinion. And I think that we should play better than 10-7 football this year, all things considered, Mike. And as we were saying, it doesn't seem like the division is doing themselves any favors to keep up with us in that sense. I think that a lot of things we did were improvements. Again, yes, did every team improve in ways? Yes, they did. But there's always something about each one of those teams, Mike, that I think that you could point to be the dagger that kills each one of those teams at the end of the day. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are the front runners. We're going to go through the odds here in a couple of minutes on a few things. But, Mike, I got to be honest with you. I personally think we should be the front runners. I don't want it to be said. Because once it does, that's when it always F's up Pittsburgh teams. All those years in the early 2000s, like we were the 1 seed, we were the 2 seed, we were getting buys, and then we couldn't get past that next round game. Steelers always seem to work best, Mike, with their back against the wall, coming in as a 6 seed, running the table, winning a Super Bowl like we have in the past. So you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine with the national media saying the bullshit that they always say. There's nothing you're ever going to do to change that, Mike. I feel that we are the front runners in this division, and until anybody knocks us out of this, I'm not going to change my mind because, Mike, we were 10-2 against the Ravens in the last 12 matchups. That means 6 years of dominating football over the Ravens, yet you continue to pick the Ravens to win over us and win this division. Complete and total bullshit. Their window's closing. Lamar's coming to getting closer to the end of his road, Mike. Until you convince me otherwise, we are still the team to beat in the AFC North.
I'm right there with you, brother. We have had one of the most disrespected off seasons. I feel like we talked about yesterday. We've just gone steady Eddie through the off season, made the right moves, made the smart moves, stuck to the guns of like, hey, we know who our quarterback's going to be. So, and we're building our team that way, and we're also building for the future while building to win now. While everyone thinks we're just gathering up old players and making this self a retirement home. You can tell people who are not actually looking at the roster and looking at it objectively. This team has had a damn good offseason. We plugged holes. We had an excellent draft that's filling a lot of needs, and that's also filling to the vision of what this offense is going to be under Mike McCarthy. Everyone's still operating that, Matt Canada is an offensive coordinator here, and that, Terrell Austin is the defensive coordinator in the national media. That's how they're looking at the Steelers. Like, we didn't upgrade in every position in all the entire coaching staff. This team did win the division last year. You can say, oh, well, this player was hurt, that player's hurt, this player underperformed, that player underperformed. We took Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph to an 8-8 record. We took Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph to the playoffs. We took Russell Wilson to the playoffs.
Mike, those quarterbacks accomplished
in bad systems.
Those quarterbacks accomplished 10-7 records, which is what we accomplished last year. Yeah. And again, Arthur Smith offense, one wide receiver for the most part. At the end of the season, when you needed the most, we had no wide receivers.
Conservative philosophy on offense and defense.
Right
now, that's changing. And so,
Yeah.
like, which everyone said, oh, hey, you need changes there. We make changes. Then it's like, not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. Not to where we have to say they're bad when we know, like, shit, man, they made some pretty good moves.
I mean, is there anything that we've done that upsets you, that disappoints you, Mike? I really feel I feel that everything is an improvement this offseason.
Yeah.
And again, we could say that this isn't our first rodeo. We've been through this before. Last year, the defense was all high, and they were saying this could be this could be a historic defense. Mike, but at the end of the day, with the new system, the new defensive coordinator, this guy is coming in, Mike, where he had basically, he had a little bit to work with in Las Vegas. And then you come here and you look around your defense room, your defense, Mike, you got to be smiling if you're Patrick Graham saying, wow, I got this and this and that. I could do this. I could do this. And I have this and the surplus of DBs and Jalen Ramsey. And, you got to think that Patrick Graham is chomping at the bit, Mike. And you got to say that you got to be chomping at the bit yourself a little bit to see what he has in store. Because if this defense comes out, Mike, and in any way improves, Mike, is going to be an improvement if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the defense was terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was inconsistent at best. If this new defensive coordinator could bring a little consistency, maybe bring a little bit of creativity and take away the element of predictability. I think if he does those three things, this defense has an opportunity to soar like it hasn't done in a long time, Mike. And I think that we're going to see a lot of great things if, in fact, that happens.
I want to say, like, the predictability and the communication errors that we've heard about for the past 3 or 4 years.
Big scoop.
Ever since, like, Terrell Austin has been D coordinator, like, that's what you heard was the biggest issue was communication.
Absolutely.
And now if you get these guys all communicating on the same page, you figure that's going to make everyone know their assignments. They're not going to have to guess where they're going to be. It's going to be just reading and reacting what you've done your entire career of, like, everyone's on the same page. Once we get the call in, we know what we're doing. We're ready to go. Or we hear the call. We don't have to think, okay, no, D-line's doing this. Backers are going to do this. Well, what are we going to do in the secondary? Like, no, everyone's going to be on the same page. It's going to be streamlined, simplified. It's just going to make you play faster because you're not thinking. You're just reading, reacting, and doing what you've done for years.
Yes.
And I like so it's just all simplified in one language instead of like 3 languages being spoken out there and trying to piggyback off of each other, or everyone like knowing, well, D-line say, hey, I'm going to do this. Linebackers will say, I'm going to do that. And then safety DB say, I'm going to do this. And it doesn't mesh. Instead of now, like, okay, we see this one thing. One person makes the call. So now we all know what we're doing. No more one phase does something different. It's just see the ball, get the ball. And I'm excited to see this defense. And like you said, Graham, he had a little bit of pieces to work with. He had Max Crosby, and that's really about it out there. And they overproduce. Now you give him, yes, TJ Watt's aging, but you still have Alex Highsmith, Herbig. You have it, yes, Cam Hayward's still aging, but he played at a Pro Bowl level. You've got Derek Harmon, who's showing that looking like he's going to be a younger, greater version of Cam Hayward, and more weapons on the back end. This defense should be at least the top 5.
Mike, do you feel that
it's going to be nasty?
Do you feel that Mike Tomlin doesn't listen, and he will never admit this, and nor should he, but do you feel in the back of Mike Tomlin's mind he doesn't want this team to make doesn't want them to win a playoff game this year? As a human being, as somebody who left the job, wasn't able to get it done, again, on a professional level, he would never admit it, nor should he. At the end of the day, as a human being, does he want to prove that maybe this all wasn't on him? Does he want maybe in the back of his mind to say, you know what, I want him to be successful. This is my former friends, my former team, my former employer. But at the end of the day, this year, I think Mike Tomlin could probably go without the Steelers winning a playoff game. That's just my opinion, Mike. Nothing about the guy, nothing about anything more than, again, a human being, a human being.
I don't know, because like he's always about like, hey, I want to do what's best for the team, best for these guys. And he was like, you know what, I'm walking away so things can get better. Mm-hmm. So like just taking him on face value, what he's saying is like, I want things to get better and it's best for me to leave. I think he's pulling for the guys. I think he's pulling for the organization. He's probably pulling for Mike McCarthy. left on, him and Aaron Rodgers had that love affair from afar. So it's, for me, just based on face value and evidence, yeah, like he's going to be wanting these guys to go out there and do the best they can, and he'll be happy for them.
Mine's off of common sense and ego, and I say that he does not want them to win the playoffs this year. But again, that doesn't mean I don't think he doesn't want them to be successful moving forward, maybe in the future. But again, there's a part of me in the back of my mind that just any workplace, say he was worth somewhere for 1 million years and you leave, and again, he's human, but again, he'll never admit, nor should he. My opinion. That ego and common sense again tell me that he probably doesn't want them to win. This is just a debate for the show. Again, this will never be anything that anybody would ever admit. Mike, again, I would be okay. Well, maybe if they could just stink it up this year, just so it doesn't look like it all came back on me.
Yeah, it's like maybe that 1% in the back of your brain.
Yeah,
that it's like fuck these guys, but the other 99%, like
I'm human.
He left on his own.
I'm
terms.
Human enough to know that it's more than 1%, but
he left on his own terms. No, if he was fired, I might be there with him, like, oh, fuck you, motherfuckers. But he left, and what he said, like, this isn't. Let me ask you this: if he wasn't getting the pressure, Mike, if he wasn't getting the pressure for the past 30 years, if he won a playoff game sooner than the last 10 years, I think Mike Tomlin would still be the coach. I think that it's because of the pressure he was facing, and I think he's seen the writing on the wall. And at the end of the day, Mike, everything has its time. Again, even Bill Belichick came stale, and the guy was in the Super Bowl 15,000 fucking times in his time in New England. So at the end of the day, guys, let's continue to move along here a little bit. Let's talk about some of the other former Steelers, Mike. Darrell Porter Jr., who was in our secondary last year, cut by Buffalo. Also, Mike, here's something we talked a little bit about yesterday. Of course, Juju Smith-Schuster being one of the 15 veteran wide receivers that the Giants decided to bring in, Mike. Now, is one Steeler, is it going to be like curling or what's the other game? Shuffleboard? Is one Steeler going to come in and knock the other out, Mike? Because you have Calvin Austin, who's over there, Mike, that again, that John Harbaugh was a big fan of, but then you have Juju and OBJ and Braxton Berrios, and also they still have Slayton. Yes, we talked about Neighbors' injury a little bit, Mike, but at the end of the day, they have about 30 wide receivers on this team. Does one, two, or none of these former Steelers end out on the final wide receiver room for that New York Giants offense? Calvin Austin makes that team. Like Juju, Berrios, and like OBJ. I read before the show that they all have to earn their spot. They were all signed, but like they're more or less like tryouts. They're gonna monitor all three of those through camp. Calvin Austin had a decent little contract signed there, so I think he is locked on, ready to go, because I think they want him as an insurance policy. If Neighbors can't go, at least have a speed guy on there, to someone vertical that can stretch the field.
And that's the thing. Yeah. What if they do? What if they do prove themselves? What if OBJ and Juju and Berrios? What if these guys do prove themselves? I agree. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with what you said. I'm just kind of throwing out a what if. What if these guys do come in and earn the spot? Again, it is the Giants. Like, I can't imagine the bar is too high at the end of the day. So, I could see one, maybe more of these players, just depending on what their receiver room looks like in its entirety. But right there, you're already naming 5 wide receivers. So I don't know what else they have going on. I forget. I don't pay much attention to the New York Football Giants much. But at the end of the day, Mike, I was just kind of wondering, maybe, when you play shuffleboard or curling, you could knock one of those other players out. I'm just wondering if Juju was going to have that effect. But it seems to me that going with the person who's a little bit younger, obviously, and Calvin Austin would be the way to go. But could certainly be something to pay attention to, Mike, and see if they pick up any more receivers. They're kind of on the same track as we were with the tight ends last year.
Yeah,
the wide receivers.
they have 15 wide receivers on their roster right now. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, six at least making the roster. And, with the injury to Neighbors, he might start the IR. So you're probably looking at maybe 7 make their roster. So Juju, OBJ, and Berrios are probably fighting for that 6th and 7th spot.
I would agree. I would agree, Mike. And that's probably how it's going to play out, of course. So just going to be something interesting to watch because, again, Mike, just a last moment haul wide receivers that they
Yeah.
brought in is just, it just made it an interesting story. So we will see how that plays out. But I do, I finish your thought, Mike. I do want to get back on the board though.
Yeah, I apologize. Calvin also only signed a 1-year deal, but I think the love affair between Harbaugh and Calvin Austin might be enough to keep him there.
All right, let's get to the board, guys. I don't want to leave anybody out. Andy says this. Anybody says the Steelers suck, they're wrong. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go down here. Tortilla Russell's the nicest piece of shit I've ever seen. Andy says this, 12-5 this year. I like 12-5. I think that 12-5 is certainly doable. I do. Again, a lot of people, I'm reading this article this morning, Mike, and it was like the tough schedule the Steelers got. You got to remember, guys, we have the South Division. So tough be it as it may, it's a first place division, first place schedule. And when you win first place, you get first place schedule. And guys, we're fortunate that everything outside of anything that makes it a first place schedule is the South divisions, the NFC South, the AFC South. Mike, I am okay with that. I'm okay with playing the Saints and the Falcons and the Panthers. I'm okay with playing Tennessee. I'm okay with playing, these teams. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's terribly tough. You win first place. You do get the first place teams from those other divisions, which be the Broncos, which be the Patriots, which be the Philadelphia Eagles. So guys, at the end of the day, I mean, they're not desirable. But you know what? At the end of the day, you know what? We've been through it before. We've had to play the Chiefs when they were good. We had to play the New England Patriots when they were good. These are good ways to use as litmus tests to see if maybe we are where we believe that we are. If we go in and win 10 games in a row to start the season like we did a few years ago when we went 11-0, are you really getting a feel for what it is that you have? I don't think so, because that fell apart really fast. I think you have to have some battles. You have to come up against some teams like Philadelphia, some teams like Denver, some teams like New England, who was just in the Super Bowl last year, to see where you really stand. I don't think that these AFC top teams are that great to begin with. It's not the great Tom Brady teams. It's not the great Kansas City teams. So in my opinion, I don't feel that this is an extremely difficult schedule by any means. Again, South Division, both conferences, your division, and 3 first-place teams. It could be a lot worse, guys. And again, if we beat one of these first-place teams instead of losing to them all, that's just going to show you how far we're coming along and how we're being more prepared to play in January and possibly into February instead of let's lose. We're going to lose all the big games. That kind of it's writing on the wall when January comes around. You're not going to beat good teams consistently. I think this isn't the worst thing ever, Mike. I like this schedule. Again, the South divisions give me hope. And again, I could use the top 3 teams, the 3 first place teams, as a litmus to understand, feel where we're at, see where we're at, and again, to see if we're actually making that progress and to see if we're ready to play in January this year.
Yeah, and this team, like, I want them to get off to a hot start, but I think that the first 4 games we're going to figure out it's going to be a slow, little sloppy looking maybe on offense. Defense, we might be giving up some big plays, but I have a feeling by weeks 5, 6, 7, this team's going to start locking up and be tighter in execution, not like they're playing tight, but you're going to see things become more crisper. That as the season goes on, this team's going to get better and better and better and better and better. And so when they're going into the playoffs, they're going in on a high note, not, coming in at best has been coming in as an up and down type team, and most of the times we've been trending downward. I think this year we trend upwards heading into the playoffs because we've had stretches the past couple of years where we look like one of the best teams in the league. We were 2 years ago with Russ, a game out of first place heading into the hardest part of the schedule, and then it just all fell apart. Now this year I have a feeling we're going to get better as we get later into the season when that schedule is supposedly going to be tougher for us.
Andy's saying, Mike, right on the top, Mike, he's saying 14-3, just hit him again. I tell you, I got to be honest with you. 14-3 is a difficult thing to do. But again, if we landed 14-3, it's going to tell you a lot about this team. And again, I think if you hit 14-3, I think you're talking a legitimate contender come January. So again, we will learn a lot as we know this, Mike. This is not the same team that we've watched play over the past 20 years. People, I think it would be more fair to say over the past 10, but over the past 20 years, it's something different. It's a different team. It's a different item. It's something that's going to be different and new to us. So we're going to be learning about this through the whole process. And I'm okay with that. Keeps it fresh, Mike. And again, at the end of the day, maybe we could get some good out of this. Let's do stay on the board, though. I'm going to go right here to Andy. He says 12-5 this year. And that's totally doable, in my opinion. Vegas says this. He says, Yager streak is 46 years, not 47, like I commented with yesterday. It's been going on since 80s. No, I knew it was getting up there. A couple years ago, it was 45 or 44, and I thought, geez Louise. So, you know what? Whatever it be, it's impressive, Vegas. And I do want to say what's up to my man Vegas, all the way from Las Vegas. Let's go to back to Yinzer Joe. He says, so I hate to say that the Browns did something good for their organization, but unfortunately they did. What they do with it is yet to be seen, and I expect an epic fail. And that's where I'm at too. Listen, all these people that are saying, "Oh, this is a great thing. You unloaded Myles Garrett's money. You got Verse." But again, Mike, this team has not won its own division since the late '80s. I'm in the see it to believe it category with the Browns. I have to. I got that. Me and Chopper, we were debating a little bit yesterday on the group chat. I just simply refuse to believe that this team is going to all of a sudden be this great football team. Where again, Mike, for the past 4 decades, almost my whole life, this team has not finished in first place in its own division. So again, excuse me if I'm on I have to see it to believe it basis. I just am. But let's move on here a little bit, Mike. We talked about the Patriots being on the schedule, which is going to be a big game regardless. But now you add Mr. A.J. Brown. Again, a couple receivers I would have loved to see come our way, Mike. We're talking A.J. We talked about Juju just a couple minutes ago. I thought he would have been great for depth here in Pittsburgh. A.J. Brown, Mike, how does he improve this New England offense? Because, again, he's, in my opinion, he's an elite receiver in this league.
Oh, yeah.
And New England, say what you will, they were in the Super Bowl, albeit it wasn't a great turnout for them, but they still were in the Super Bowl. More than 30 other teams could say. What does A.J. Brown bring to this team, Mike, and how is that going to affect their season?
Dude, they finally have a legit number one wide receiver. You have him, and then you also have Romeo Doubs, who I liked as well when he was over in Green Bay. I think those two, they're going to have a nice 1-2 punch. Dobbs was someone I wanted the Steelers to get in the offseason or for trade. I forget how Green Bay or how New England got him. They got themselves a legit 1-2 punch. And now, like us, when we got Michael Pittman, all their receivers are now slotting into where they need to be over there in New England. That's what they were missing. They were missing a bona fide number one, and I thought they got it in Dobbs, but now they get an A.J. Brown, a true one. Now they have a true two. That's gonna help May. I like their running game with their Stevenson and Henderson. The O-line, I think, still needs a little work because they were exposed in the Super Bowl. But now you got 2 studs at receiver that May can sit there and choose, and defenses don't have to overload on one of them. That's going to help that offense out a lot. And I liked what they've been building over there the past couple of years. And you had those 2 studs at receiver, especially A.J. Brown, who can still stretch the field at 28, 29 years old. It's a great pickup. They did have to give up a first for him, but hey, if you think you have what it takes to go back to the Super Bowl and win, like the Rams say, man, fuck them picks. Go all in. I think it was a really good move by them.
Here's something, Mike, that I find interesting. Nick Shook, I'm not sure this fella is, but he wrote the Steelers' offensive line could be as good as the second best in the NFL. How big is that for a team like us, Mike, that where you're talking about Aaron Rodgers being able to step back and maybe pick defenses apart and find Michael Pittman and find DK Metcalf and find Jeremy Bernard with actually having an offensive line that you're confident in? To say that it's top 2, we don't know at this point, and we still you have to play the game, obviously. But at the end of the day, Mike, how much more effective can we be if the offensive line does play up to that prediction? What do you think on that?
Yeah, now that's going to give us more time to actually develop routes, the deep routes, and not have to do the bunch of short to pull everyone, then to hit over the top. You can dial them up from any point in the game, in any situation on the field, if that's the route you want to go, because now Rodgers is going to have more than 2 seconds to throw the ball. And you give a quarterback in the NFL and a wide receiver in the NFL 4 to 5 seconds to get open, they're going to get open.
Yeah.
it's rough for these corners now. The way the rules are, you can't cover these guys that long. So if they can give him that amount of time in the passing game, I look the F out. And then you give Warren and Dwaddle that kind of room in the running game too. They can control it. Steelers can control the clock. They can do what they want. Once your O-line is in control, you dictate the terms when you have the ball. If the defense is struggling, it's like, all right, cool. We're just going to grind the clock out so that other team on offense gets a little cold sitting over there. They get a little stiff.
You know what else I want to see, Mike? I want to see them use. I want to see that they better use Darnell Washington, because again, at the end of the day, all those things that you said, they're all improvements. Throw a freak of nature like Darnell Washington into the mix, hit him in the middle of the field, and let him carry 6 or 7 guys 30 yards down the field. So again, to say that we're not improved, Mike, in the way, again, with new coaches coming in, seeing things from the outside, that whole pervasive, invasive thing where they can see, you know what? Wow, we could do this, and that. Oh, wow, they have this freak. Oh, wow, they have this. So I think that this new set of coaches, they're going to come in, Mike, and they're going to utilize and do things differently that they seen from the outside, seen things that wasn't working, seen things that was working, and come in and apply both to the situation, Mike. So again, very confident I am, but again, they still have to get out between the lines and play the games. A lot to get into today as we reach the second hour of the show, Mike. Big news, of course. This today, I saved it to the second half. It was not really that big, but it is the news of the day. Mike, the Steelers did sign Darnell Savage. That is finally done.
Finally.
I didn't know. Matter of fact, most people forgot that this was even going on. This was even a saga, Mike. But as of today, Darnell Savage is now in that Pittsburgh Steelers secondary, just adding another weapon to an already deep secondary. Both cornerbacks and safeties looking good this year, Mike. Darnell Savage, whether you like it, whether you don't care, whether you do, it is just he's another former first-round draft pick that's in our secondary to see if we can make something work with all these guys. Again, I'm indifferent, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing to have him there and see what he got here in camp.
Yeah, I like to move. It's a nice depth piece. You're just hoping that right now he's 100% fully healed from whatever he was working back in the offseason. And he's ready to go because, we're hoping Deshaun Elliott is back 100% healthy.
Oh.
I love Deshaun Elliott, but, that injury, man, he thought he did something really bad to it, and turned out, it was bad, but not as bad as he feared. And he says he's on track. Right now he's in the. I want to see it, because if he could come back healthy, 100%, Elliott, it's awesome. Then you have Savage back there as a backup. You got Deshaun Brisker. Okay, now that safety room's looking good. You got young guys. You got Castro, and then you got
Castro's looking good.
Yeah, I'm not putting a lot of stock in my 7th and undrafted free agents, but their depth, if they show they can play, put them the fuck out there. I'm all for it, but I'm not putting my faith in those guys.
Plus the young guys, Mike, the rookies, the draft
class.
You
still have Jalen Ramsey that can bounce anywhere
That's
from
what I'm saying.
Corner or inside corner, linebacker, safety. So there's a lot of depth in that secondary. And if these guys can stay healthy, which has been an issue the past couple of years in that secondary, is staying healthy. If they can, it's a good group. I know I've been saying that for a few years now, but it's been injuries that have been plaguing them. And if they can stay healthy, they're gonna be really good, man.
Let's talk about this offense for just a moment, Mike. Something that's maybe tongue-in-cheek, may not be. I want to talk about, Mike, after OBJ signed with the Giants yesterday, Lev Bell is back with his shit. Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't been here since 2021, Mike, he gets on Twitter, on X, I'm sorry. He says, I'm about to call Omar. Mike, even though we have Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle, Caleb Johnson, Eli, Homer, Travis Homer, Mike, again, how many times is this ever going to be a thing, or is this going to just be something that Le'Veon Bell continues to say year in, year out? Because I think I've heard it every year. And listen, if this was 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't have hated the idea. And again, I didn't hate the idea of him being here in the first place. I loved him. I thought why he was let go was fucking ridiculous. But Mike, again, my man Lev's about to be on the phone calling Omar.
Yeah, I don't think Omar calling back. I think Omar's having multiple assistants answer that phone going, wrong number, who dis?
Don't tell him I'm not here. You know.
Hear Omar in the background. I'm going to lunch.
Yeah.
I ain't ever coming back.
Or some my phone's crink. You know, say some kind of shit to get the hell out of it. Yes, exactly.
My air fresheners.
Let's go on the board. Let's go right here. Andy says 11-5. He also says, hey, Mike, hey, Ryan, what's up, dude? Always great seeing you, Andy. Brother, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the board. Vegas says this. We've had some terrible OCs. We sure have. We sure have. We sure have. We really have. Let's continue right here. Ty says, hey, Vegas was good, Ty. Everybody's exchanging pleasantries. Let's go right here to Andy. He says 10-7. That sucked. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, there's teams that would love to have a 10-7 record. But again, at the end of the day, of course, being Steeler fans, we always do hold high expectations. Let's go here to Vegas. He says didn't really address the inside linebacker, but maybe the new defensive coordinators. And that was my beef, Vegas. I thought because we weren't really that great at inside linebacker. We gave up a bunch of yards up the middle in certain games. And again, Patrick Queen led the league in missed tackles. So again, that's kind of what I'm banking on is maybe the new defensive schemes, the coordinators, the communication, and all the things that they were saying was problems with the last team. Maybe these things will get resolved and that will be changed because again, Patrick Queen was a Pro Bowler in Baltimore. So if you could get him back to that play again, a lot of people say Roquan Smith made that possible. But you know what? We have a couple guys that are pretty good on our team as well. So we'll see if that's the difference, Vegas. But again, that was my beef. You worked on the defensive line a little bit. You worked on the secondary a lot. You didn't touch that. You didn't touch the linebacker. So again, we'll see as they did let up 200 some yards last year. 250 against Buffalo at home. So that has to be addressed. It has to be because again, you can't have those. If you want to be a team that plays late in January and into February, you can't have those kind of games. You just can't.
No,
that's not what the good teams do.
You start locking shit up at that point.
Let's go here to Tortilla. Cutting Harrison will be enough. That's going to be my question a little bit later, guys. I was going to ask you what's going to be who's going to be your veteran cut. We'll get to that here shortly, but mine is Harrison right off the top. I think that if we do cut anybody that was with the roster that's considered a veteran, it's probably going to be somebody like Harrison. But again, what does that help with the inside linebackers, though? I mean, what if somebody goes down? You know, we're going to then be scratching our head saying, okay, what do we got? But we'll get into that here shortly. Let's continue on the board. Andy says this. He says we lost to Houston because of Tomlin. Well, I mean, Houston's defense was pretty nasty. Again, ultimately, who knows? Possibly that could be. But at the end of the day, I don't take anything away from Houston and what they were able to come into Pittsburgh and do. I mean, Tomlin obviously was part of it. Let's scoot along here. Yinzer Joe says, I'm telling you guys, they will trade Herbig and JPJ to address the linebacker problem. Mike Tomlin, of course, booing. I do want to say hey to Coach. Coach always popping in on the board. Always great seeing Coach T. He says, boo. Yinzer Joe, Tortilla, Tyrone. Tyrone says this. You don't even believe that. Laugh my ass off. Let's go here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says this. I called the transition before, and how much cap space do you all think they have? Not enough for everyone. And this is why Fittipaldo, Mike, he was saying Herbig's probably not going to get extended this summer. He said Herbig is going to probably be done after the season. I mean,
yeah, like because right now, going into next year's cap right now, we're sitting at 39.4 mil. This year, I think we're at like 7 million left in cap space. So if we give contracts, there can be no new money this year. Next year, we got 39 million. That's 14th in the NFL. And there's guys like that's still counting Cam Hayward on the book. You know, it's like Jamal Dean, Jalen Ramsey's contracts would still be on there. Those can be, reworked, or you cut one of them designate one or both of them as June 1st. Cap cuts and that money gets spread out over 2 years. So there's ways to get a lot of money freed up to get the guys that they the younger guys that they want to keep. Some of these guys, like Dean, could just be a 1-year player, and his dead cap hits $8 million. You spread that over 2 years, that's $4 million saved. There's ways to make money. Cam's counting 16 million or 20 million against the Cat next year. There's ways to get that number down too. So there's things they can do to free up a lot of cap space to get these guys signed.
I agree, Mike. And as I said, I was just reading this morning, Ray Fittipaldo was reporting they're probably not going to get Herbig done until after the season. Yeah. JPJ guys, of course, these guys are people that we definitely want to sign. But Herbig is interesting for many reasons. Of course, all the way back to what just happened with Myles Garrett and how that affects somebody like Herbig. You got to think, Mike, there's the conversation certainly got really heated up here in Pittsburgh after what happened yesterday, and Myles Garrett got moved, because we also are sitting here with a guy making a ton of money on the defense. Mike, what is the answer when it's all said and done? Because this is going to be the question throughout the process. We do have Alex Highsmith, we do have TJ Watt, and we do have Nick Herbig. Mike, there's got to be an answer at some point. I don't know if the answer is getting rid of the youngest possible player that matched the former Defensive Player of the Year and beat him out in sacks. I don't think that would be the answer. So what is the answer? What's legitimately, what's the end game when it comes down to this situation, Mike? Because this is a situation, and it's going to be a situation, and this team could change entirely if the Steelers would pull off what it was that the Browns did, Mike, because now you have, you have a whole plethora of money to work with, and just again, and you have the young player to put in his spot, which is the next logical step. Yeah, Mike, what is the answer to this? How does this play out at the end? Because at the end of the day, if Nick Herbig is the one that ends out leaving the Steelers when this is said and done, I think you're kicking yourself 3-4 years down the road when you're seeing him elsewhere around the league continuing to dominate, and TJ is now ready to move on. And you see what I'm saying? What's the result, Mike? What is the answer to this question? This is going to be one of the biggest questions in Pittsburgh here at some point.
Somber got part of it right in his comment. The end game is TJ retires here. And that's what the owner wants. That's what the owner's going to get. So he's going to be here. So now the question becomes, are you cutting or trading Alex Highsmith in the offseason and extending Nick Herbig? And you have to extend Nick Herbig before you move on from Alex Highsmith. But once you extend Herbig, teams know, okay, you're not keeping Bo. So now the trade value goes down. So you try and trade Highsmith first. Oh, now Herbie might want more money than what you already offered him. Now you got to play the franchise tag game. This can get ugly real quick in the offseason for the Steelers, because we know nothing's ever 100%, but we know for almost 99% sure TJ Watt is not being moved. Even if he has a monster season, they're not going to move him because they're like, look, TJ's back. We can't get rid of him. So he's going to be here. So then it becomes between Highsmith and Herbig. And I like Highsmith's overall game, but I like the dynamic playmaker that Herbig is. But for me, the ideal edge room for the Steelers is Highsmith and Herbig. I think they give you the best of both worlds. TJ Watt's not who he once was anymore. He still makes the occasional great play, and they're awesome when they happen, but you're not getting the biggest bang for your buck out of him. And so he would, on the field wise, be the most logical one to go. But he's going to be here, and we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do between Herbig and Highsmith. And hopefully, they keep Herbig, and Sawyer develops into that role that Highsmith fills, where he can stop the run and rush the passer. So then your next wave is Herbig and Sawyer, the way you had Watt and Highsmith.
I'm just looking right here. I'm looking at Yinzer Joe. He says Highsmith and Harrison stop the run and set the edges. Herbig isn't the guy. He can blitz and cover. What good is that? Trade Herbig. Well, I mean, can you really say that TJ Watt is doing a great job stopping the run? I mean, I seen them run at TJ time again. And TJ just, so again, I think you're giving him too much credit on that outside, trying to seal off that edge. And listen, I'm not saying that Herbig is great. doing that. But again, at the end of the day, I just think that people are valuing TJ a little too high at that particular thing, Mike, because again, I see him run, as of till last year, I see people running right by him. So again, at the end of the day, it's a good question. It's a good conversation piece. But Mike, this is the time of the show. We do talk about some odds. DraftKings, Mike. This is according to DraftKings. Pittsburgh Steelers are to -175 to miss the playoffs. Mike, the -175 to miss the playoffs. So again, this is what's being expected. If you can believe that, Mike, the Steelers, they are to +144 to make the playoffs. At a +144 to make the playoffs. You do what you want here. This is
do what you want with that, because if you think like I do, the Steelers are going to win the division.
I agree. Again, we're 10-2 against the Baltimore Ravens in the last 12. That is 6 years worth of domination. All right, they beat us 2 times in that. Come on.
Those facts don't matter. It's all about the feelings of the NFL media.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the Ravens own the Steelers, even though the records prove otherwise.
Every record that there is says that that's untrue. You know what I mean? Every record. There's nothing. There's nothing that indicates they're a better football team than we are. Nothing.
No.
Let's go here to Mike. This is the odds to win the AFC North. It's at a +500, a +500, a +2200 to win the AFC, and a +5,000 to win the Super Bowl. So again, it's us against the world, guys. That's never changed. Even though you are one of the biggest, most popular franchises of pro sports around the world, our backs are still against the wall. But baby, we wouldn't do it any other way. We're gonna dig in. We're gonna do what it is we do, Mike, and prove everybody wrong once again, as we always do, Mike. Because last year we were finished in last place as far as the know-it-alls, the people that get paid a lot of money. These are the people, Mike, that know everything. They had us in last place, and they had Baltimore, who started out 1-5, winning the division. So again, do what you will.
Well, they were hurt, so therefore it doesn't count.
Because when we were hurt the last 5, 6, 7 years with guys, that didn't matter.
No,
I mean, all of our injuries and come on, we haven't had a rookie in the past 5 years that hasn't been injured the whole entire first season. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, we've been trotting out retread quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, and quarterbacks whose elbows and Achilles are being held together by duct tape and chicken wire, and we are finding ways to win.
And we've had coordinators by the names of Matt Canada and Arthur Smith. I mean, come on. And this team still manages to stay above water. This team still manages to win the division. This team still manages to make the playoffs. So, again, it's us against the world, guys. You know what? I'm cool with it. I know that I got you guys got my back. I got your back. We're in good company. We got this. Let's do it. Let's move along. I'm going to go right here to Andy. Andy says Tomlin sucked the last few years. I agree. Tyrone says this year called reconstruct, cut guys. And they looking at JPJ, Herbig, Darnell Benton won't get extended. Again, just from what I'm reading, it looks like Herbig's going to get pushed beyond this season. What goes on with JPJ, I don't know, but I'm seeing some different opinions on the board as I look down. So I'm going to keep my reserve my opinion on JPJ for the moment. Let's go right here. Andy says this. I've been a fan since Big Ben. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome, man. I'm glad to have you as a Steeler fan.
Hell yeah, brother.
Glad to have you as a Steeler fan. Let's go here to Mark Malone, my man, the myth, the legend, Mark Malone. He says this, it's going to be a whole lot better team. And we all know why. Let's go right here to Andy. Says new chapter in the AFC North. Mark Malone says the reign of the great secondary master is over. Andy says 14-3. Just hit me again. Boy, a 14-3 season, man, we'll all be smiling. But 14-3 really feels like a letdown to me in the playoffs. I don't know why. Like,
right?
It really feels like we overachieved in the regular season to me. If we're going into the playoffs with a 14-3, I'm kind of worried. 12-13, I'm feeling confident. 14 wins, I don't know, Mike. I'm starting to worry a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you start doing well. Like, oh shit, man. Now if we stumble, everyone's going to make fun of us saying we choked. I don't like that. Let's go in a nice, 13-4, sneak out a division title, and then raise hell.
Yeah. Once the expectations, it's again, these are human beings. Like they're
Yeah.
human beings. Well, they should be able to play. They should be able to play up to the level. But the fact of the matter is, it's tough, especially if you're young in the process, which we would be young in the process, providing that would be the case. So let's continue right here. Tyrone says, I got us at 11-6. Tortilla says, I called us signing Gainwell. My sources tell me JPJ is the GOAT.
You have excellent sources.
And you know what? Joey Porter isn't going anywhere, in my opinion. But again, I want to get down to these comments here in a moment. Tortilla says there should be Hot Pockets patch on every hand warmer in the NFL.
Hot Pockets.
Let's continue on. Steel Loyal, he says this. He says, I do want to say what's up to Steel Loyal. Always great seeing you here on the show, brother. Hope things are going well for you down in Carolina. I know it's got to be getting warm down in Carolina. Let's go right here to Steel. He says this. Cody is going to be happy. Let's go to this is why, and this is exactly why, because he wanted a Savage jersey. I can see Cody sporting a Savage jersey. That has Cody written all over it.
It does too.
I like it. Let's go here to Yinzer Joe. He says, what's so wrong with inviting Bell to tryouts? Maybe. No, you're right. Maybe he does. I don't see anybody knocking his door down at this point. That's all,
Yeah. The last year he played was 2021. He played 8 games for a grand total of 101 yards.
Yeah. And he's older now.
He's 35. Oof.
35. That's what I'm saying. You have a nice running back room. Why mess? And again, it just kind of seems like it's something every year now with him.
Yeah.
Him or AB. One of them always throws it out there, and it's kind of becoming a running joke. I mean, at the end of the day, bring him in. Let him try out. But again, I don't see anybody really knocking his door down or placing phone calls to try to get him on a football field. But I'm not taking anything away from him. He was great. He was great while he was here. He was great while he was here. Let's go on to Steele. Steele says this. Pat McAfee texted Aaron Donald to find out if a comeback is possible after Myles Garrett trade Donald's reply. It for sure got me thinking. There you go. You know what? Maybe coming back to a team that might be able to use a tackle because they have an aging tackle would be a nice little reconnect, Mike, here in the Steel City.
Well, hey, Aaron, come out of retirement. Come here, buddy.
Send Cam to retirement. Bring Aaron in. We'll be looking really good.
Yeah, and don't go back to your former team. Come here. Come to your hometown, buddy.
Somber, always great seeing my man Somber on the board, all the way from Indigo, California. I hope I got that right. I hope I got that right. Somber says, send Rudolph to Timbuktu. Let's go here to Jello Donut. Man, we got all the classics today, Mike. All the big names in the house. Jello Donut says trade Watt for a mid defensive end and another person that we need to fill a hole.
Ooh.
Always great seeing you, Jello. Always great hearing from you. Somber says the end game is TJ retires here. We all know it. And unfortunately, you're probably right. And I say unfortunately because of the business aspect of it. We could certainly benefit greatly. And here is another thing. How often you have a guy that's ready to go, Mike, that, again, that's outperforming the guy ahead of him who's making all the money? How often is that your situation? The guy right behind Myles Garrett wasn't outperforming Myles Garrett.
No,
So we would be in a more ideal situation than they if we would make a similar move.
Yeah, I wish we would have traded Watt last year. Before the extension, that would have been the time to do it. He still had, that was his highest value in recent years. Move on from him, and then you have that money for these younger guys, which is what we needed to do. But the owner was like, "Oh, I don't want him to go elsewhere." Like, dude, your dad and grandfather let it happen all the time. It's
like, get
business,
off his nuts,
man.
dude. What's your problem? Get off his nuts. That's what I'm saying. Loyalty is one thing, but business is business. Keeping a good product on the field is business. That's the answer. That's the name of the game. Yes, they go around and toss a pigskin around for 5 months, but at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
And you're to do what is the smartest for your team. And at the end of the day, again, Cleveland could certainly take advantage. They could certainly take advantage. But again, they're kind of in their own hole, Mike. Again, they owe players that haven't played football in years. And again, it's insane what they're in. It's going to take a while to get out of that hole.
Oh, yeah. I think it's them, the Saints, and the Dolphins that have the most dead cap space.
Yeah.
And it's anywhere between like 120 to 140 million. Separate, that's first through third, and it's insane. And they're up there. And the Steelers have no dead cap space going into next year. And once you can spread it out, man, be like, I don't know, it'd be a lot of money.
It's a mad money.
It's doable. It's doable.
It is doable. Again, I get off dude's teeth. It's I don't care, how much you're up his ass or dude, it's business.
Yep.
Prove that you're not the fucking Browns. But anyway, again, let's move forward. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. We did get this one actually. He says TJ and Harrison stopped the run and set the edges. Herbig isn't that guy. He can blitz and cover. What good is that? Trade Herbig and JP, especially if they hold in.
And breaking news: Porter and Herbig are holding in.
That's what we all suspected.
Yep, they're there. They got their helmets on, their pants on. They warmed up and stuff, but now they're watching drills. Porter's talking to coaches and stuff. So it's a good sign they're there. They're staying engaged, but I'd like to see those guys out there, but I understand where they're coming from.
Business, it's business. And this goes to show you, you know what I'm saying? If it was more about football, these guys would be on the football field. Business is, it's number one. Like when there's money involved, business is number one.
Oh, yeah.
You hate it. You hate to say it. You hate to think that the football is secondary in the business of football, but it is.
Yeah. Like, the owners will, they'll chew you up, spit you out. But at the same time, they want loyalty from you. And the player's like, hey, show me the money, and then I'll give you the loyalty. And it's like that double-edged sword. Like I understand everyone's position in there, but if I'm more in line with the players, because if I was out there, I'm like, pay me, man. I will run through a brick wall for you. You've seen me already do it, man. You know what I'm worth. Let's get it done. So we don't.
Here's
have
the thing, though, Mike. The team doesn't have to be loyal.
No,
because there's a million people right behind you that's going to step up and do exactly what it is that you do, and for less money.
Yeah.
So the team has hand, obviously, and again, at the end of the day, the team is in control of that situation because you could tell me, listen, this is what I want, and if it doesn't fly, I'm out of here. Well, guess what? There's a million kids behind you that's willing to step up and take that role on and make the money you're making. So it's more of a privilege for a player to be a football player than it is for a businessman to be a businessman. They're they're running this operation. And again, at the end of the day, Mike, it doesn't matter how we think they should run it. But it does matter what they think about the players, because again, at the end of the day, the players they're disposable. They're disposable, Mike. You can continue and continue and continue and continue to run through players till you're blue in the face if that's what you have to do. So again, let's move on though a little bit. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. He says Yinzer Joe per Jerry Porter ain't going anywhere. Of course, the big news just coming out, they are holding in. That is both Herbig and JPJ. Tortilla Mike says this. He says trade JPJ for George Pickens. Is that something? Let me ask you, Ty, because that's listen, to get George Pickens, the talent that he had back, would you trade away JPJ for George Pickens? I just know that what JPJ means to you, but I do know that you understand what it is that GP does bring to the table. So just kind of curious, is that something that you would ever do in this lifetime? Tyrone does say this. He says, Yinzer Joe, that's part of the game. Laugh my ass off. Why would you want JPJ to get hurt before he gets paid? JPJ is gone, is what Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe's
rough.
They're taking their turns on Ty lately, man. I've noticed this. Let's go to Sommer. He says, this can't stop the run narrative. It's ridiculous. He's not as good as Highsmith at stopping the run, but Highsmith is one of the best in the league at that. Okay, he can't stand. Okay, I gotcha. I can't stand the can't stop the run narrative. On who? TJ? Because I've seen people run at him over and over again. And again, he's better when the ball goes opposite side, because he can see, he does that thing where he slides behind the line and he has that that Stretch Armstrong arm that goes about 4 or 5 guys, and he could tackle somebody that's going out to the left all the way from the right. But again, I've seen him get buried. But again, not a great run stopper, but I'm not even sure that's who you're talking about. So I'm going to continue on. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says, JBJ with your mama right now. Also, Tyrone. Okay, Herbig can't stop. Okay, I see where you're going. So you're going with that. Oh, gotcha. Thank you, Somber. JPJ, let's go Tyrone, laugh my fucking ass off. We'll see about that. Let's go Steel Loyal. He says this while waiting extensions. Herbig and Joey Porter Jr. both attended mandatory mini today. The Steelers have made their desire known to work out both deals, and I think that it is going to get worked out. I do. Again, like Filippo was saying this morning, I think possibly Herbig comes later, though.
Yeah.
I think that gets taken care of after the season. Tyrone, I doubt JPJ is doing anything, though. Follows it up by saying no chance taking risks. Somber, J Ram at camp finally. That's cool. Participating. Ty says this. Everybody is they're just JPJ. Maybe Herbig won't participate. Let's go here. James Plant, Mark Malone, JPJ on the trading block. Sure he is. Ty says Tortilla, JPJ on the trading block. You read it backwards. Let's go here. Indio. I was one letter off. You know what? After one day, that's pretty damn impressive for me.
I'm surprised you remembered.
I'm surprised.
The way you came in hot and heavy today.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't entirely different, to be honest. Indica. We'll go with Indica. That's the best, right? Let's go here to Mark Malone. What about to notch 17 sacks under Grant? And again, that will change my tune entirely. It will. If he comes in and puts up 17 fucking sacks this year, I'll be back on board, Mike. The fact of the matter is he hasn't been performing. That's my problem. I don't hate him because his legs are 9 feet tall. I don't hate him because he has a face of a cop. I don't hate him because of anything besides the fact that he's not performing.
Exactly.
If he performs, I'm back on board. That's simple. Do the job that my team needs you to do because they're paying you a lot of money to do it. Get it done. That's all I'm asking. Do it. I'm back on board. I'm going to be complaining. I think that's human nature. I think that's common sense. I think.
Yeah. There was a time like we held superstars to a superstar standard.
And you should, because again, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You could fix a lot of other problems if you don't have this. So again, get the job done, get results. I'm back in. I'm in like skin, baby.
I'm rooting for him.
I'm not rooting against him. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Mike, let's jump in this right now. This is we're going to take a moment to talk about this. 11 former Steelers are on the ballot, Mike, for the possible NFF College Hall of Fame. Mike, they're going to be electing these players for the College Hall of Fame. 11 former Steelers are on this list to make the grade possibly. Let's go through them real quick here. Alan Faneca, of course, out of LSU. Come on, Alan Faneca, one of the best ever, Mike.
And not only a GOAT in the NFL, he was one of the best in college too in his era.
Absolutely. Next on the list, Mike, another great Pittsburgh Steeler offensive lineman. In my opinion, I thought he was great. David DeCastro also on this list as well.
He was a beast out of Stanford.
Absolutely. Mike, this is somebody whose name I thought that you should have had. I think that you look like a Flozell. Flozell Adams is also on this list. Teen Wolf, no. Flozell, yes. This is what I'm feeling.
Look at the flow of the beard.
Flozell. Let's go, Mike. Troy Edwards, of course, the former wide receiver. Troy Edwards, who I thought had mad potential. I thought he didn't perform up to his potential. I liked him here, Mike. I don't know much about his college career. But Troy Edwards.
Louisiana Tech. I don't remember much of his college career. I remember his rookie year, like you said, a ton of potential, and it's never worked out for the kid.
Unbelievable. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go right here, Mike. Casey Hampton, one of the complete, absolute best, Mike, especially as a Steeler, defensive lineman, GOAT. No two ways about it.
Normally,
Hampton.
I do the horns down for Texas. Yeah. But for big snacks, hook 'em horns, man. Put that fat bastard in there.
Let's go here to I'm gonna go right here to Tyler Matakevich. A little bit more recently, Mike, but he is now available also to possibly be going to the College Hall of Fame. Patrick Peterson, Mike, wasn't here long, but Pat Pete did make the cut, Mike. He is at this point where he could be in the College Hall of Fame.
He was Florida State?
I believe so. Where did Pat Pete go?
I can't remember, but I know he was an absolute dog in college. and he dominated like the early part of his career. He was one of the best in the league, and I think he was one of the best in college too. A lot of these guys have strong cases to make it.
This next player here, if he's not in the College Hall of Fame, I may start a riot. Like Antoine Randall, who in college played quarterback, and he had, if I'm remembering right, and I could be wrong, but I think he had 41 passing touchdowns, 41 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback at Indiana, Mike. At some point, I don't remember if that was the end game. I just remember at one point he had a lot of both, and it was the same exact amount. So it wasn't like he was this or this. He was a bad dude, Antoine Randall. And then when he came, Mike, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if this Pittsburgh Steelers team wins back in 05 if Antoine Randall was not a part of this team. Such a big piece, Mike. He may not be remembered like Hines Ward. He might not be remembered like other Steelers of the past. But, Mike, Antoine Randall 100% deserves to be in the NCAA College Football Hall of Fame.
Dude,
without question.
What he did at Indiana, my Indiana Hoosiers were dog shit at that time before my savior, whoever the coaches came and showed up and brought us Mendoza and the boys. Like he was Indiana football. Like, and that, like, Indiana was bad. And some of the, and like those Michigan teams, Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State teams were fucking destroying everyone up there. And he would himself go toe to toe against those universities in that era. And I don't know if they won or upset any of those games, but he kept them competitive. This dude was a great college football player, exciting college football player.
Mike, I couldn't agree more. Three more.
He's a beast.
3 of the 11 left. I got one more I think that you're all going to agree with, and then a couple of guys that maybe been a little bit before our time, but we're going to talk about them briefly. Mike, the next player I think is this. Next player, I believe, probably belongs as well. However, I didn't pay much attention to him. I know what he did here. I know he's out of Virginia. I know that Heath Miller is on this list, Mike. Heath Miller, of course, one of the better tight ends in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Again, I don't know what exactly he did accomplish in Virginia. We liked him. I know that. I remember when we drafted him back in 2004, and he did great things, Mike. Heath Miller on this list.
Yeah, I know he had a hell of a year his senior year at Virginia before he got hurt, and that's why he fell to us. He was banged up, and Steelers took a flyer on him in the first round. But I don't know like his entire career at Virginia. I just know that last year he was playing some lights out football, and everyone was shocked that he fell to the Steelers because he did have that injury, but people were talking about him as at least I think a top 10, top 15 pick that year. But his overall career, I don't know, but I know for that last year it was phenomenal.
Darnell Wolford, Mike. Darnell Wolford is on this list as well. And finally, Richard Ehrenberg, Erenberg. This is the 11 guys that, Mike, they are on the ballot for possible NFF College Hall of Fame. So
that's just the guys who played for the Steelers, and that's
right.
A badass list. I'm gonna get all 32 teams. It's a lot of great college football players, man.
I wonder it's so difficult to pick these, Mike. And somebody's always going to feel shafted and shorted because there's so many great players.
There's the greats, the greats, the really fucking goods, the goods, and then the good. There's so many levels to it, and like the gap between them all is almost razor thin sometimes. It's hard to parse of like who's an all-time great and just a great, who's a great player and a good player. The margins are thin, especially when you get to college, trying to figure out who's really great in college, because the talent pool that you were going against from conference to conference is so diverse, whereas the pros, you're playing the best 1% every week.
Absolutely.
So college, it's kind of hard, but that's part of the fun of college football is watching the top guys that are going to go playing against insurance salesmen. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Let's get back to the board. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go right to Tortilla. Nobody bigger than the team except your mom. Ty says F no. Also, Ty says JPJ brings more to the tables than GP. Okay, so he's going no on that, on the trade for JPJ for GP. Okay, no, I respect that. I asked. Let's go here to Ty. He says love GP. He got his jersey, but he's a crybaby. I agree. There's certain things. There's a reason why we did cut him loose at one point. So again, I definitely respect that. Tortilla says pause. Somber. Herbig. Let's go here to Mark Malone. Mark Malone says JPJ may well bring us enough draft capital to move up for a quarterback next draft. Tyrone says, I hope we play Dallas next year too. I want to see JPJ and GP. We will not be able to play them next year unless we face them in the Super Bowl. Which, again, Dallas hasn't been to an NFC championship game since 1996, so go with that. But there will be no chance to play them. We will go to the NFC West division, and also our weirdo division game will be against NFC North team. So there's no chance of getting the Cowboys next year, unfortunately. Let's go here to Tyrone. Tyrone says this, Mark, that's not who you used to that for. Laugh my ass off. Maybe Highsmith. I could see that next off season. Tortilla says this, we already have enough capital to trade up. You think, well, we the Rams? Let's go to Mark Malone. Mark Malone say this. Mark Malone says, I don't think people would give much of a pick for Highsmith. Steel Loyal says, Mark Malone, you got to be trolling, man. Let's go down here a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit right here. Right there. Mark Malone says this, plus we need capital for the 2026 draft. Tortilla says, take his whip, it's away. Let's go here. Mark NBK. What is NBK? NBK.
I don't know.
Mark Malone saying 7. Tortilla, my name is Mark Malone, and you're watching Ash Check. Let's go here to Mark. Mark says this. Everyone says next year is the year to draft a quarterback. Trade JPJ before the deadline for a first so we can move up and get one.
They said the same thing about this class.
Let's go here to JCO. I do want to say welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Great to have you on the show. My friend JCO says the face of a cop was wild. You know what? The whole Watt family, they all got that face.
They do.
They all have that face. If they would, yeah.
Like you see them pulling up, you're like, oh, fuck. You ain't getting out of this one.
Yeah.
TJ Watt would have given that lady with the nub hand 4 tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
One for each mission, little phalange.
Just put the mustache, that cop mustache on them Watt brothers. Come on.
And Super Troopers 4.
Yeah.
Here come the Watt brothers.
No ball knowledge. Got it. Somber says no ball knowledge is NBK. Gotcha. I do want to say, though, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Great to see you on the terrible board, JCO. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says this, we don't have to trade JPJ to move up. Laugh my ass off. Tortilla says Mark is Thanos. Mark is Thanos. Mark Malone, he replies. He says this, the most logical move we could make. Sante Samuel Jr. and Everett locked down the outside for years. Now we got a little bit to learn about Everett for sure. Still young. And Tyrone says this, Mark, why would you trade your best player? I'm glad you're not our GM. LOL. Steel Loyal, he says, I'm starting to think Mark is actually serious. Let's continue. Mark's a funny guy though. You gotta give him that wiggle room. You never know. Or he might be straight up serious, but he's high out of his mind, and the Krylon is talking. I don't know. Mark's tough to tell sometimes. Let's go right here to Mark Maloney. He says quarterback more important than a mid CB. Tyrone, oh, now you just pissed me off. Ooh, he did call him a mid CB. I did.
Oh, see now that's too much.
I'm pretty sure the Tyrone's head just blew off his shoulders. I'm almost certain.
Oh yeah,
almost certain of that. Tortilla says Mark is getting paid by RB. Let's go here to Mark Malone. He says, let's face it, JPJ doesn't pick the ball off ever, but he never let up a touchdown. Never, ever let up a touchdown in the NFL. That's amazing. That is amazing. Where are you going to get that? Where else are you going to get that? Steel Loyal says, Mark, you were trolling, or do you actually think JPJ is mid? Because this will determine how I think of you. Let's scoot along a little bit. How many picks in 3 years? And that I don't disagree with. But you know what? So did Nubby Ike Taylor. Ike Taylor played with Nubs for years. You know, he didn't get the interception, but he was a shutdown guy. And you know what? We wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without him. You got to remember that as well.
Yeah.
Let's go here to Ty. He says, yes, we need a quarterback. First off, do your research about 8 QBs first round talent right now. We'll see how that pans out. Second, JPJ, or the best player 3 years, never given up a touchdown. Mid, motherfucker, he in the top 3. You know what? You are both right at the end of the day. I mean, I would like to see more picks, but it's not necessary. Like, again, if you don't let up a touchdown in 3 years, where else do you get that? You know, you never.
No, you don't. And like the one that where people say, oh, look, he gave up this touchdown. It was a blown coverage by the safety that he was trying to make up for.
Yeah.
So, like, like he's played extremely good football, like top-notch football.
I have no complaints, and he improved every year. Mike, his tackling, I think, from year one has certainly got better. The penalties have gone down. So, in my opinion, I think that his stock keeps rising. We'll continue to follow JPJ. Of course, Steel Loyal says, how many touchdowns allowed? Exactly. Stalmer says this. I haven't seen Mark's message for about 6 months. That's all you need to know. LOL. Let's go down here to Tyrone. My man says this. Tyrone says, yeah, Mark, you were worse than RB for real, and that's actually sad. Steel Loyal says this. I thought he was trolling, but he might actually be an idiot.
Jesus God. These guys are calling out today. First day of minicamp.
I'm telling you, man.
Fucking hell.
And we're getting close. We're getting closer, baby. You can feel it. Tyrone says, no, I knew he was serious. He's a fucking idiot. Tortilla says, Trayvon Diggs had like 12 interceptions in 1 year, but also gave up the most yards that year, too. Picks don't mean shit. That's why you always see different DBs with the most year after year. Let's scoot down here a little bit. Tortilla says, Mark has AB CTE. Tyrone says, Tortilla, 100, 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion%. Let's go here to Tortilla Jackson, my man, all the way from Sacramento, California. He says, Minka got picks. How did that work? Listen, I admit that Minka fell off, but he was a very, very, very big piece to our defense for the first couple of seasons, Mike. I did not hate Minka being here. He was a playmaker. Yes, he fell off. And again, he's got what he deserved. I think ending up with the Jets, I think, is enough punishment for everybody, anybody, when it's all said and done. So I'm going to lay off Minka. Let's go here to Ty. He says this, and he don't throw the ball. He don't get the ball thrown his way that much to get picks. And now you're right, and that's a big thing too. So let's go here. Tortilla. He says, nah, his hands are bricks, but bro can cover his ass off. No doubt about it. Anyone saying he isn't, anyone that says that he don't is trolling or actually dumb. Mark Malone, I see him popping back up later here. Let's go down here to Ty. Ty says, damn it, let's go to Steel Loyal. That's where it is. That NBK, the no ball knowledge. Gotcha. Thank you for that, sir. Steel Loyal says this. Mike, Steelers cornerback Joey Porter Jr. said he feels like he's getting the respect that I feel like I'm owed when it comes to his play in 2025 in his ongoing contract negotiations. Follows it up by saying, suck it, Mark.
So that sounds really good. So that sounds like he's in him or his agents is in constant talk with like the front office about
Mike. Joey Porter Jr. is not going anywhere. I just got to.
Stupid to let him go.
Listen, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way in the world, and not at this point. They're going to get him money. They're going to keep him around because he's one of the best. For two, Pittsburgh loves connections. And guess what? His dad was a Super Bowl champion here. For three, he grew up here. For four, Joey Porter Jr. isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Listen, I love Mark, and I always respect his opinions one way or the other. But at the end of the day, my opinion is Joey's not going anywhere, and I think rightfully so. I think the guy belongs here. He hasn't let up a touchdown in 3 years. Did I mention that yet? Has anybody mentioned the fact that he hasn't let up a touchdown in 3 years? Because if I did 1,000,000 times, I have to do it again because that's unbelievable.
And he's getting better and better too. Coverage all around, penalties going down, when to use the hands, when not to use the hands. Sky's the limit for the kid. You sign him to a 4-year deal, 4 or 5 year deal. You work your voodoo like we always do on their contracts, to where tail end of them we get out easy on them if the play decreases. So it's going to be a win-win for both both sides, and it'd be stupid not to sign him up while this team is on the uprise and while he's one of the young guys. You sign him now, so when his contract is expiring, he's one of the old guys, and his play starting to tail off. Then that's when you let him go, and then that's when you have that next young crop taking over the way we used to do things here.
A couple more, Mike. We're going to get a couple more topics as we were kind of rounding third on the show. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. He says Steelers outside linebacker Nick Herbig said in regard to his contract situation that he wants to be a Steeler for life and that he already feels like a starter. He plays like a starter. Let's go here to Mark Malone. I don't know, guys. I don't know about JPJ. Again, I respect your opinion, Mark. I don't think JPJ is going anywhere anytime soon. Ty says this. JPJ also says he wants to be out there, but taking one day at a time. And again, at the end of the day, it is a business. And first and foremost, you got to take care of your business in the NFL before you even step on the field. So this is no surprise to me, guys. I think he'll be here for a while at least. Let's go to Ty. He says this. Mark Malone, maybe mid to high mid corner. Ty says that you were a mid fan. Followed up by saying JPJ said owner, my agent working it out. Tortilla, Mark Morgan has an OnlyFans where he just hates JPJ on every post. Mark Malone, of course, yes. Tortilla says trading JPJ makes sense as much sense as signing Eli Apple. And Mark Malone, he says this: I'm going to take a rip off an old can of Krylon and let you know what I see. And then my man Jamal, always great seeing you, my friend.
Brother?
My man. Hope everything is going well for you down in Texas, bro. Always great seeing Jamal on the board. A couple of things I do want to get to, Mike, as we are at this part of the show. Omar Khan, all of his first round picks, Mike, have been linemen. They made this commitment years back. They're sticking with this commitment. I like this commitment because, again, ultimately, this is how Philadelphia built to the team that they ended up becoming. It's not pretty early. It's not fun early. It's not sexy by any means early. But when it's all said and done, once you solidify your offensive line and your defensive line, Mike, then you can start really focusing on other things because you have that foundation, that line. Yep. You're not going to have to worry about, well, we're not going to be able to run. We're not going to be able to pass. We're not going to be able to do this. That line, Mike, every draft pick so far in the Omar Khan GM era has all been linemen. Mike, they're sticking to their guns. Do you respect the fact that they made this comment 5 years ago and they haven't went off course once? Some people are saying, man, I would have loved to pick a lemon. I would have loved this draft. I would have loved that. Mike, me for one, I respect that he's sticking with his guns. I think the way that he's drafted that first round in every year so far in his first rounds, I think that this, again, is under the radar the best way to go.
I'm right there with you, man. You win and lose in the trenches. Again, for the millionth time, go back. What's that second KC Philly Super Bowl? Yeah. They dominated both sides of the line and were able to dictate what they can do. And then speaking of Philly, again, I hate speaking positive of them, but once you have your lines solidified, now you can start wheeling and dealing and have fun in the first rounds.
Yes, exactly.
Quinion Mitchell's sitting there. Let's go get him. Oh shit, the white corner's there too. Let's trade back up and get him too. Oh, let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, a stud's falling in the draft for some innocuous reason. We're gonna pack his picks up. We're gonna go get that guy. Once you get your foundation built, now you can start going for. We need a corner. Let's go get one. We need a receiver. Let's go. We need a backer. Let's go get one.
And here's the thing. A lot of people pick out of source. You don't have pieces in place, and then they want to go after the pretty pick, and they wonder why they can't win with this high-end skill player. Well, if you don't have other things in place, that high-end skill player, you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do to get him to play to his potential and get the numbers from him. So at the end of the day, Mike, I respect the fact that he stuck to his guns. Omar Khan and company and Andy Weedle and crew, Mike, they did not veer from the course, even though, again, Mike, what happened just this year in the draft in Pittsburgh with Mekhi Lemon in the first round and, all that. I really respect the fact that they stuck with their guns and they're committed to building the team in the same way. Again, they're not biting. They're not doing what the Philadelphia. It's a smart football move, and they're doing that. They stuck with that. I really respect that. And again, I think in the long run, this helps the Steelers out for many years to come, opposed to in little spurts. And I think that maybe that's where we should be focusing now, is really turning this thing back into a long-term, Steelers doing what it is we expect the Steelers to do.
Yeah, and you look at those drafts too. Look at the second-round picks. First one was Joey Porter Jr. Then you go to the third round of that first draft, Keanu Benton and Nick Herbig. Like, yeah, you may have whiffed on Broderick Jones, but guess what? You hit a potential all-pro corner. You picked a serviceable rotational piece on the D-line, which is also important. Then you got an edge rusher that you're able to develop to potentially take a spot of a starter or go be a starter elsewhere in the NFL. That is a killer draft. And then the next year, you get your hopefully your franchise left tackle. You got your center. You got a guard. All boom, boom, 3 picks in one draft that are all starters. And then the following year, you hit on Derek Harmon, looking like you're hitting on Jack Sawyer. And now this draft, yes, reports are early, but it's looking like you're hitting on a corner, you're hitting on a receiver. They're having really good drafts, and they're stacking the team. So it's not only just getting those linemen, they're hitting on those other positions that, the sexy positions later in the draft to where everything's filled. They can start taking those sexy positions in the first round to round out those groups to make them even better, while your line has been both lines have been built and developed and ready to go.
Did you ever wonder why we were sitting back trying to make ends meet in the draft? And Philadelphia was picking Quinion Mitchell, was picking Cooper DeJean, was picking every damn desirable consensus skill pick out there. And you're saying, well, what the fuck? We're trying to make ends meet here. We're rubbing sticks and stones together to make a fire. And you have the Eagles over here with just the most beautiful drafts every year. They're grabbing anything they want. It's like, anything they touch turn to gold. This is why, Mike, because of the way they built that team, and they built it from the ground up, from the trenches up. And once they got that in place, and the Kelseys and all the guys, the Fatanus, everybody that they had in place for years there that they really built, Mike, then they were able to just go and have their drafts have been wonderful. Carter, the guy from Georgia that I loved. The list really goes on, Mike. And again, this whole time we're rubbing 2 sticks together.
Yeah.
So again, this is what I look forward to in the future of our Steelers, because they are building it this way, and this is going to be something that we're going to be thankful for a long time. Again, as other teams come along that might not have their ducks in a row, if you will. They might say, oh, well, let me grab this guy. He's the number one. He's the best receiver out there. But you ain't going to get the results if you don't got a team. Yes, he might go out and make his noise because he's mad talented. But at the end of the day, for the team, this is the best possible thing that we could be doing. Again, for anything good, anything you want to do in life that's worth it, you always got to take that hit. There's always going to be an initial. Yep. You start a business, you don't make money right off the top. You lose money first, and then you build up, and then you do great things. So again, Mike, I kind of put this in that category. We're doing the unnecessary, ugly, undesirable things at the end of the day, which ultimately it is. And we love football, and these guys are amazing, and we love them all. But in the trying to understand the point that I'm making, we are at that point, and again, it's going to pay dividends so much for us. And if you don't think it is, just take a look at Philly, because this is the exact route that they took to get to where they are. Again, I don't want to be Philly, but we have to figure out how to get back in this race at the end of the day. We still have more championships than everybody. We still, we're still that. We're still all that. We're still the black and the gold. But at the end of the day, we have to figure out how to get back into this race as time moves on, as the game kind of passed the Steelers. And I think that we're all ready to move to that next step and get back to winning. So, again, I'm a big fan, Mike, of the way that Andy Weidel and the way that Omar Khan have been operating the shop. Let's get back on the board, Mike. But what I want everybody to think about as we do this, guys, who is going to be the one surprise cut for you from the Pittsburgh Steelers? Who will not be on this team after camp is said and done next month? Of course, mandatory mini today. OTAs next week wraps up the OTAs. Camp next month. Who is going to be your surprise cut? It could be a veteran. I don't know. He's a big surprise, but I'm saying I could see Harrison getting cut from the middle of that defense, Mike. But at the end of the day, I don't know what that does to the depth there. So this is a tough one. What Pittsburgh Steeler, what veteran, somebody who's going to be one that gets cut this year that maybe some wouldn't expect? Let me jump on the board, Mike. We think that out, Mike. Everybody on the board as well. Vegas is saying Mason, which is actually not a bad guess or pick. Surprise cut Eccles. Mike, and this is obviously a name that we haven't talked about a lot. Yeah, but he certainly played a big part in that secondary last year.
Yeah, he did. I liked the addition of Eccles, but like everyone else that they've signed, where does he fit in? And McCarthy saying, they'd like to have guys that can do multiple roles. Can he play on special teams? Probably. I don't know if he was one of the gunners out there. Is that something he's willing to do? He's a guy like him who might be on the fringe because J-Ram might be taking that spot. You never know. He's going to have to show something. But I like the way he played. I thought he was a really good addition last year.
Yeah, I did too, Mike. And again, it's just unfortunately we went through all these names before. We were talking about the DBs. We're talking Brisker. We're talking Dean. We're talking Savage now. Sante Samuel, JPJ, even down to Everett, Mike. So Brandon Eccles is a name that we've forgotten about, but very interesting on that pick. Let's continue right here. Tortillas is my surprise cut is Logan Lee. Again, he just signed recently, Mike. So
Logan Lee was the
Lowry.
Yeah,
Lowry is who we just signed.
They're both white guys.
Tyrone, he says this expect to get cut Mason. Steel Loyal says Eccles ain't getting cut. And then finally Tyrone, he says reason I say that I think they really love Everett. And I agree with you. I know that they love Everett. Tyrone says I don't think he will, but that's that's all. I mean, again, maybe none of these people will be surprise cuts. But again, just looking around to try to get a feel for what everybody's feeling. Mike, mandatory minicamp. Today, tomorrow, Thursday. Next week, OTAs, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. There'll be some small dates, some other things that happen in the meantime. But then the end of July, next month, we are going to have camp. We're going to have Steeler camp, Mike, at St. Vincent College in St. Vincent College. Where's St. Vincent College?
Latrobe.
I want to keep saying La Roche.
Yeah, I know. You were going to say La Roche University.
Latrobe. Mike, are you happy with where we are at this point in the offseason? Again, back in January, we go up to the game. They get blown out by Houston. People not feeling so great about the Steelers at that point. Another year, they said. Another year. What are we going to do? We're trying everything. They change out the coaching staff. We have a draft here in Pittsburgh. It went very well. Free agency went well. What more could we have done in this offseason, if anything, in your opinion, to improve our squad?
Maybe one of the young bucks in the draft at linebacker, maybe. But, I understand the picks that they made, and they're hoping the defensive philosophy and the improved play of the D-line. But I think middle linebacker. But I know they were working out Jamin Davis today as well. I don't know if he's going to have any impact on the team or not, if they would sign him. But at least they've recognized, like, linebacker, they're a little thin at. They addressed the secondary, reinforced it with Savage. So they're still looking at, I think, middle linebacker specifically, is an area they could have improved on. I like some of these guys in the draft, but I loved our draft. So it's a toss-up of, like, if we get one of these linebackers, do we miss out on someone else? And that's, would have a snowball effect where we miss this guy, that guy, that guy. And it wasn't as good of a draft. So it's linebacker, but they're still looking at it. But I'm hoping the scheme change is gonna fix that problem. It would remain to see. But other than that, man, I think this was an A offseason for the Steelers. I like where this team is at in mini camps, and I like where it's trending towards training camp.
Another thing, Mike, I'm optimistic about this season, and I think that they're going to do well. And I'm hoping that they surpass what they have been doing. The one thing that worries me, let's just say that they don't. This is something that nobody's been talking about. Nobody's even thinking about. Let's say they didn't improve. Let's say the Steelers go out and go 9-8 this year. Then we're all going to kind of be scratching our heads saying, okay, what the fuck is it that we have to do?
Right?
Do we have to jump in bed with Las Vegas to make this happen? Do we have to whose balls do we have to rub? Because at the end of the day, Mike, we're kind of leaving no stones unturned. And I think that this offseason was no matter what your opinion was on how things were going before, this was the way to move beyond, I feel, what we were doing and to try to change things. So again, if things don't go any better this year, we're all going to be sitting around all next offseason thinking, all right, well, what the fuck? What's the move? Let's say that's the case, Mike. What are you looking at next season? Let's say it's January and the Steelers don't quite get it done. What's the complaint? I mean, you know?
Yeah, then the next complaint would be, okay, we did the coach, and then it'd be looking at Kahn and Weedle. You know, it would be that point. Like, okay, you brought this talent on, but it's good talent. I think that's where the blame would start to shift, would start going to the front office. But my God, if this team does go 9-8,
that's what I'm saying. What if this team goes 8-9?
Yeah,
Mike, you know what I mean?
A backslide.
The thing is, it's not out of the question because again, the Ravens were picked to go first last year, and with some injuries, they start the season 1-5. Like Kansas City, we're looking like the dynasty.
Yeah.
That we've never seen before. Even better start off than New England's dynasty did with Tom Brady. And again, you know, things happen. So let's just say that we underachieve, you know, and it's going to be a long off season. This is why I feel optimistic. This is why I want to be optimistic. I really feel just at some point this thing has to move in the right direction. We have to find a way to win in January again. We have to find a way to consistently be better at the top end of being a good team. You know what I mean? So, again, that stuff we'll worry about. But I wanted to bring it up because it's a possibility. You know, again, you see this happening. You've seen, again, New England last year with 4 wins. Next year to the Super Bowl. Anything can happen in the NFL. So, again, hopefully football gods are on our side moving forward, Mike, and we can get back to some of the fortunes that we've enjoyed and the luxuries that we loved with being Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get back on the board, though. I'm going to go right here to Ty says, I don't think we'll get a surprise. Also, Vegas says, Mr. Rooney by a younger Rooney who then takes over. His surprise cut, Mike. Somber says, can't wait till the pads are on, bro. You and me both. Vegas, the city wants the draft to come in. Yes, and you know what? They had told us if the draft goes well, they will come back in about 6 or 7 years. So, again, I'd expect in the next couple of years to hear possibly that it could be coming back. And it did very well. Tortilla says, if we lose another wild card game, I'm stealing the bridges. Mike, so that's about everything for us today as far as our Steeler scoop. Of course, mandatory again today, tomorrow, Friday, Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow to get into everything that we find out today about mandatories. But Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com, everyone. It has all your 2 Dum Yinzer needs over there. We got articles over there. We got the merch store if that's your thing. And we also have all of Ryan and I's social media links over there so you can follow us everywhere. See, 2 Dum Yinzers are in your pocket.
That's right.
Yeah, baby. Check it out, the2dumyinzers.com.
You know what, Mike? You think, oh, yeah, that sounds nice. That means chicks. But no, you're also in Mark Malone's pocket. I just want to put that out there.
I was thinking more of the lines of like Tortilla's pocket and Cody's pocket, and I got scared.
Okay.
At least Mark Malone's pocket, you know, there's a chance that I get some Krylon high.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. With Cody and Tortilla, I don't want to know what's going on in their pockets.
All right. Fair enough. We'll take that, guys. Do go check out the website, www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.2dumyinzers.com. Lots of cool stuff over there. Mike does a lot of work over there. Do go check it out, www.the2dumyinzers.com. Question of the day. This is in regards to TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Put on your thinking caps, everybody. Here we go. Mike, put your thinking cap on. Everybody on the board, everybody at home, put on your thinking caps. Here is the question of the day. Mike, between Myles Garrett and TJ Watt against each other's teams, which one of these players have more sacks against their other team? Does TJ have more sacks against the Browns? Does Myles Garrett have more sacks against the Steelers? Is the question of the day. Take your time. Take a moment to think it over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
I'm Tube.
TJ Watt is Tyrone's answer on the board. Up first on the board, Ty, saying TJ has more sacks against Cleveland than Myles has against the Steelers. Go ahead and throw your guesses up. Maybe you know. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you're just going to take a guess, or maybe you're marking. Who knows what the hell is going to come from your fingertips? Throw your answers up there if you got them.
He's gonna guess Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
You know, who has more sacks against the other guy's team? Of course, Miles is not with the Browns anymore. Tortilla says Rashawn Combs. Guys, who has more sacks against the other guy's team? TJ against the Browns or Myles Garrett against the Steelers? Vegas isn't going TJ. Myles Garrett can go fuck himself. That's what he's saying. Mike, what's your thought process? I'm definitely seeing it's leaning toward TJ on the board.
Yeah, that's where I'm going towards too, because I know Miles has had some sacks against us, but I also know like he struggled against Dan Moore some games, and Dan Moore is not a good tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go by TJ. I don't think it's a wide margin, but I think TJ got him there.
Mark Malone says I keep a little vial of it with me for sure.
All right, as long as I'm in that pocket, brother.
That's right. Mike, so you're sticking with the general consensus, and you were saying TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let me see something here. I might be able to make this happen for you. Mike, you say TJ Watt, final answer. So
final answer.
So this is what I'm gonna say. There you go. I got you.
There we go. We got the board, baby.
It's coming around slowly but surely. Mike says, TJ Watt, you are locked in on that. Question of the day. Which one of these gentlemen have more sacks against the other's team? Does Myles Garrett have more sacks against the Steelers, or does TJ Watt have more sacks against the Browns? Is the question. Mike says TJ Watt. Tyrone says TJ Watt. Vegas says TJ. I'm not sure what it is that Mark and Tortilla are saying, but you know what? It's all good, baby. Tortilla is saying JPJ. Guys, question of the day. Who had more sacks against the other guy's team? I'll start by saying this. I'll start by saying that Myles Garrett has 13 sacks all time against the Steelers. Meanwhile, TJ Watt has 17 and a half sacks against the Browns. TJ Watt is correct, guys. 17 and a half to 13 is the results on that. It is TJ that has more than Myles. Mike, what's the feel? And again, I really wish Tater was here today.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how, what the thought process is with him, with a Browns fan, because at the end of the day, we're talking about the logical part, the business part, and then at the other end of the deal, you know how people feel about it, because we love our players. They love their players up there in Cleveland. I would love to hear from somebody, Mike, that might be a Cleveland fan. Too bad. The one day you want Tater here.
I know. Yeah, he's not here. That dirty bastard. Always
got to be fucking things up, that Tater.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, they are down bad. They are trying to say that Jared Verse, he might not become Myles Garrett, but hey, let's compare their first 2 years together. And look, Verse is just as good or is better. So they're trying to slowly talk themselves into that Jared Verse is going to turn into a generational talent, and that they did not get fleeced, that they are going to rebuild. Maybe
they'll be in the Super Bowl this year, Mike.
They are a quarterback away. That is what they're saying. But yet they're also saying we got Shedeur Sanders. So
and they are also a team that takes the best quarterback in every draft this century. So go by that, basically.
Yeah, they speed ran the stages of grief yesterday, and they are now all in on it's the right thing to do. Was what we got. It was the perfect trade. We got hey, Jared Verse is as good as a first-round pick next year or in 2028, brother, because he's a known quantity. Hey, man, we got contract control over him for 2 years. They're starting to sound like Pirate fans right now.
They are very much like Pirate fans.
They are slowly trying not to crash out. They are building up hope after freaking out yesterday. It is quite fun to watch.
Speaking of hope, Mike, our Pirates are back at it today. They do start a season in Houston with the Astros tonight. Game 1 of 3. This game is an 8-10 start. Mike, it is Bubba Chandler that's supposed to be on the hill, but there was a day off. Maybe if there is, in fact, baseball gods, Mike, maybe they used that day off to skip over Bubba Chandler this time. Maybe so he could put his head down on the table and think about what he's done wrong, Mike, and then go back to the Skeens Keller, Ashcraft, and of course Jared Jones, Mike, which would be their playoff rotation.
Yeah.
But right now, Bubba's etched. We'll see how that goes. Game 1 tonight against the Astros tonight. Pirates 32-28 on a 3-game winning streak, Mike, hanging in there. So again, we could get this win tonight. That's going to be good. It's going to be a 4-game winning streak at that point. So we're all going to be rooting for the Bucks. I know I'll certainly be watching them. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, Mike. I'm going to go right here. Yeah, man. Okay, I missed a few. Let's go back at it here. I don't want to miss out on anybody on the terrible board. Never do. Never will. Vegas says, I'm going TJ. Okay, we did get that. Mark Malone. He keeps his vial. Right here, Tyrone. Ty is saying 90 all day. Somber says, get shit on Miles. Jamal's saying Miles. He had Miles in the bet. This is what it's coming down to, the question of the day. He's saying Miles was his pick. Also, Vegas says this Tater needs a wellness check.
You notice who's not here today.
I know, and that's worrisome because again, Mike, Tater was always here.
No, not only Tater, but the future Mrs. Tater is not present.
Are you suggesting
maybe
they're off preparing their wedding?
Maybe Lindsay is giving Tater a wellness check.
All right, there you go. Something we'll keep our eye on. Let's continue right here to Tortilla. He says this Tater works security at the Rams facility. Vegas Tater switched to the 49ers at the very last minute and won the game ball. So he's hiring an agent and starting a new career as a podcast commentator. Commenter. He says, let's go right here to Ty. Here we go, baby. That's right. All day. Here we go with the Rockets. Always love to see it. My man Ty. Let's go here. Ty Tortilla wellness check with fries. Guys, you're amazing. You are amazing. We'll be back tomorrow to get into everything we find out today about mandatory minicamp, Mike. And I hope that again, Mike, a lot of amazing names popped up today. I've seen some new names, some new faces. Some classics, some OGs, some favorites, and even Mark Malone on the board today. Just kidding, Mark. Great seeing everybody. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow, as we'll be doing it tomorrow again at our regular time. A few things that I do want to go over before we do skip town, guys. Let's go right here. Vegas real quick. He says, I think the Tigers versus Rays over 8.5. Rockies versus Angels over 8.5. Who do you guys like in the NBA and the NHL? Real quick, throw them up on the board as well. Do you like Carolina? Do you like the Knights? And then in hoops, do you like the Knicks or do you like the Spurs? We took our picks yesterday. Let's see who you guys like in that. Mike, as I continue on now, I'm going to go here and say this, guys, with all the sports going on right now, this is my favorite time of year. Of course, football season is king, but Mike, you have baseball, you have basketball championships, you have hockey championships, you have NFL getting underway, so many different sports. And when you have sports, sometimes you need to have a few drinks, guys. And if you do, get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, Mike, made right here in Pittsburgh and available in 6 and 12 packs at Giant Eagle and wherever cases are sold. Mike, the people at Duquesne Pilsner are great people. They always help us out for promotions and such, guys. We like to do the same in return for them. If maybe you're not a drinker, that's fine. Swing over, check out their social media, hit the follow button. That'll help them out too. Mike, we always have Duquesne Pilsner here on tap in the studio for every event that comes along. This beer is made right here in Pittsburgh, and it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
You could also check us out on social media as well, guys. We're on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button. Keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. And also, if you haven't had a chance, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, the share, even leave a comment. It all helps, guys, at pushing things in the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Let's go back, get a couple more of these messages, Mike. I think Steel Loyal says Canes in 5. I knew he was going to be going with the Canes, but I think the Canes are going to win too. But for the show, Mike took the Canes. So for the sake of the show, I'm taking Vegas. I apologize. I do feel that the Hurricanes will win, but I do have the Golden Knights. So again, Mike, I'm in the situation where I can't lose. Yeah. So I put myself in a position to win no matter what. So I'll take it. Let's go here to Ty. He says, I don't care for hockey, but Spurs for the NBA. Gotcha. And I do have the Knicks, I believe, Mike, in the NBA, correct? You got the Spurs, and I have the Knicks.
Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
Let's go here to Vegas. He says betting the under is lame as fuck. Sitting there all game hoping nothing good happens on offense. All game is stupid. I want to be excited. Great show. Thank you always, Tyrone. Thank you so much, my friend. We're always happy to see you. Vegas says, when are you going to start your new pyramid? I thought about that yesterday. You did mention that. And what do you want? Do you want it a bigger pyramid? Do you want different cans? What do you want to see back there? I will change it because, again, we are coming to the end, Mike, of season number 9. We will be in season number 10.
Damn.
As we do hit our 5-year mark, hit our 1,000 show mark. So again, I'll probably do some changing up here in the studio. So do throw some recommendations out, Vegas. Whatever you want to see back there, bro, you let me know. I'll work on it. Still Loyal says, I'm just glad that OKC got knocked out. LOL. Tortilla says, Vanilla City Thunder. I got the Knicks and I got the Knights. The Knicks and the Knights. Mike, you got the Canes and the Spurs.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm bringing home both championships home.
Mike, what's your thoughts on today's show?
Oh man, Browns fans, ha 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 ha. But Steelers related, man. My surprise cut, it might be Caleb Johnson.
Ooh,
I hate to say it, but looking at the roster and everything, like he might be a surprise cut or trade. Maybe
Mike, let me ask you this. So you do have Warren, you do have Rico, who are going to be your 1-2 punch, of course, Mike. Then you have Homer, who is your special teams guy, but he's a running back.
Yeah.
You do have Eli,
Nope.
who's a running back, Mike. So
Yeah.
maybe Caleb Johnson getting cut is not out of the question.
Yeah, like I don't want to sell the guy short. I don't want to give up on him.
Of course
But
not.
I'm just thinking about like putting myself in the front office and coach's shoes of like, if we see a tie between like him and let's say Eli, Eli was our guy. Eli can do more than you. They might try and sneak him onto the practice squad. Like, I want to give him another chance. He looks like an NFL running back, but so do a lot of fucking guys who get drafted look like NFL running backs and they don't pan out.
Yeah.
But like he's one of my surprise cuts. Like like him right there. I know it's kind of like a low-hanging fruit, but
no, you
he's
know
right
what?
there.
Nobody.
And he would be like the first guy that Omar and Colin drafted in the top 3 rounds that hasn't made the team the following year.
Hot takes what Ty is saying. Jamal, he says you got the Spurs, and then Sommer says, who's the power back if Rico goes down?
I'm still handing that ball off 25 times to Jalen Warren.
I know Jalen Warren would get mad carries.
He's not a typical power back, but
he's a bowling ball.
He's a bowling ball. He did slim down some, but I'm still giving it to him. Or I'd find someone else on a practice squad that could come in and play. Because at that point, if you've moved on from Johnson, you've already established he's a practice squad player. So you might as well just replace him with another practice squad player.
Right here, let's go to Somber. Okay, we did get that. If Dowdle goes down, let's go to Vegas. Chet was special. Then Wembley showed up and is better at everything than Chet and stole all of his thunder. No pun intended. And listen, I think if I wasn't doing this for the show and Mike didn't take the Spurs, I would take the Spurs. I just want to throw that out there. But I have no problem taking the Knicks. I like the Northeast teams being from up here, so I'm cool with it. I'll take the Knicks. I'll take the Golden Knights. But I would have taken both of the. If I was putting money on it, I would have taken the 2 teams that Mike has.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave that there. But I do still have the Knicks and the Knights. Lou Nichols still loyal is saying on the board. Somber womp womp. Again, guys, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We'll see what's going on today at mandatory minicamp. 3 days today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And then we get back into that last week of OTAs next week. And at this point, Mike, we'll be going into mid-June, and we'll be so much closer to camp at that point. So very, very, very much looking forward to that, and so much more with our Steelers moving forward, guys. We're getting there slowly but surely, but we're in June, so we're closer than we've been yet. How about that, Mike? We're closer than we've been yet this offseason.
That is not a lie.
That is not a lie. All truth there. Mike, one more. Anything before we do take off?
I got nothing, brother. Great show, everyone. I had a
we thank blast. You again, everybody. Thank you, man. Great seeing all the new faces, old faces. Mike's Jack Blackface apparently, and everything in between. Yeah,
may not be gay, but you're not ugly. Still the best compliment I've received ever.
And I mean, one's true and one's an opinion. So do what you want. Do what you want with that, everybody. But we will be back tomorrow again to do it all over again. We hope to see everybody then. I do believe that's it for me. I'm not forgetting anything here. Do enjoy. Check out the Pirates tonight. The Buccos at Houston, game 1 of 3, 8:05 start. That is tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Mandatory minicamp, much, much more. I do believe one of the two, maybe the NBA or the NHL, one of the two does start tonight. So I'll be keeping an eye on that also. So we'll get into all that. So much more tomorrow. Again, thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much to everybody on the board. You guys always keep the show interesting. And I do want to say thank you to everybody at home. You people were amazing. We couldn't appreciate you more. Thank you so much for everything. We'll be back tomorrow with Finch and Derpy and RB and Chop and Mike, myself, everybody. I do want to say have a great Tuesday. Stay safe. Enjoy your day. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.